of space for Addo Carr. I think that's what they'll probably do. They'll come over to this right edge when Mitch Moses wants the ball. But I just wanted to see play footy today. Play eyes up, have a bit of a smile on their face, but don't get too fancy. You know, it's a perfect afternoon for rugby league. They've got to play a little bit more expansive. I like when they've got their second phase offloads going. You know, Junior Barlow around the middle of the field. He's damaging when he keeps that ball free and ready to pass off. I think we've seen the Yongi score a great try last week off a Junior Barlow offload. So I want to see stuff like that from Parramatta.
100 games today for Will Benson, one of their centres, and indeed Matt Dury off the bench playing his 50th NRL game, the former Bulldog. John Gibbs is on the touchline for us. He's just sort of milling about down there, having a chat to all kinds of people. Gibbsy, what's it like down there?
Absolutely beautiful. It's look, there's a light easterly breeze. It's not giving much relief though. It's 24 degrees. Feels like 22 down here at ground level. The ground is absolutely perfect, as you can see. And there's it's not a bad crowd here. Plenty of colour. And this is the last game of the regular season. I was just asking Danny Baderis and Chris James, football manager, black armbands today, and they are for Leo Thompson's grandmother who has passed away, and that is why Leo has got the compassionate grounds to go back to New Zealand, obviously. So, somber moment for the Newcastle side, but they're just going to get their defence right. And they've got plenty to play for. They've got pride. They can get off the bottom of the table. So that's got to be motivation in itself. But Parramatta, they're on a roll. Mitch Moses pulling all of the strings. I don't think they'll be good enough.
Thank you, Gibbs. Yeah, level on points with the Gold Coast Titans after, of course, the Titans beat West Tigers yesterday. Out come the Newcastle Knights. Fullback Fletcher Hunt, wingers Dom Young and Greg Marju, centres Dane Gagai and Bradman Best. 5'8" Jake Arthur, halfback Jack Cogger, likely his last appearance in a Newcastle jersey as well. Lock is Matt Croker, back row Jermaine McEwen and Kai Pearce-Paul, props Jacob Safidi and Tyson Frizzell. The hooker is Phoenix Crossland. The bench is Jaden Brayley, Tom Kent, Elijah Celesa-Lumayana, and on debut, 19-year-old Cody Hopwood from the West Maitland Wallaroos. 18th man James Schiller. Out come the Parramatta Eels. Fullback Isaiah Iongi, wingers Zach Lomax and Josh Addo-Carr, centres Will Benson, the 100th game for him, and Sean Russell. 5'8" Dylan Brown. First time since round 19 wearing number 6. Mitch Moses, halfback and captain. Lock Dylan Walker. Back rowers Kilwan Tuolangi and Jack Williams. Props Jermaine Hopgood and Junior Barlaw. Hooker is Riley Smith. Bench is De Silva, Dury, Goma, Sam Rani. 18th Joash Papali. Coach Jason Riles. And they will kick off here first. The Eels. Our referee is White Raymond. Our touchies are Ziggy Shaklasa-Radamski and Phil Henderson and Liam Kennedy in the bunker. Your tip, Luke Lewis.
Yeah, I'm going Eels to win.
Your tip, John Gibbs.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Parramatta uncomfortably.
Yeah, I think that's certainly, they're rightly favoured. The Knights haven't won here since 2014. I'm not sure they've played that many games anyway, but it was actually Dane Gagai's 50th game. He played 300 games recently. Here we go. Kick off the final game of NRL regular season 2025. The Knights to have first use out of that northern end of Western Sydney Stadium, running away from the Peter Sterling stand. And tackle there is Safidi. Play it 10 out from his own line. Crossland swings it across here again, trying to get some run going through centre field. It is with that man in Marju. And he was collared there by Smith. Keeps it going to the left-hand side. The Knights on play 3 here with Jermaine McEwen. Debuted earlier this year, round 3. Now over halfway they go here, the Newcastle Knights in the, well, not quite over halfway, they're just shy of the 40 in fact. Crossland off here left-hand side with the fullback in Fletcher Hunt. Now it's last play, short of the halfway. And it will come out there towards Cogger. His kick down toward the corner. It's taken there by Josh Addo-Carr. 20 out from his own line. And the veteran winger succumbs here. 35 out. And he's dragged back here by a couple of those Newcastle Knights. In there first was Croker in concert with Safidi. Para on the attack for the first time here at home this afternoon. And Lomax is brought down 40 out centre field. And at dummy half, Dylan Brown off for the Newcastle Knights next year. $13 million over 10 years in the Hunter. 7 short of the halfway. Smith goes short side right. Moses on here to Iongi, and the pacey fullback is stopped there in the 3-man tackle. 8 metres inside Newcastle territory. And this is second last play here for the Parramatta Eels. Through hands it comes. Walker fed back here to the run of Williams. He's out some space. Takes on the fullback. Pops it back here towards Dylan Brown, who dummies wide and goes in to score behind the posts. Great run from Jack Williams. Effective work all round from Barlaw as well. And the Eels score inside the first 90 seconds in the final game of season 2025. 4-0 kick to come.
Absolutely brilliant here from Parramatta. Nice and simple. Good defensive set to start with. Limit the metres there of the Newcastle Knights. They kick from their own 40. And then they get over to that right edge. They should have set up this shift over to the left edge, what we're talking about before the game. And it was a beautiful pass there from Barlow. He's come up with some really beautiful offloads over the last couple of weeks. Throws a little bit of a dummy, slips through around the corner pass, picks up the back row and Jack Williams, and he goes through. I thought he's going to try and use his speed and go around the fullback there in Fletcher Hunt, but he does a simple pass, finds Dylan Brown, and a little show and go. He goes straight through. First try of the game against his new club. Dylan Brown, well done.
Touchline, John Gibbs.
Well, you hit the nail on the head there, Louis. Barlaw's offloading in recent times has been absolutely magnificent. He's been back to his best. Some around the corner jobs are just magnificent. Good backing up there. And Jack Williams did a great job. Dylan Brown through the dummy. Addo Carr thought he was going to be in for another one, but that's a pretty lethal left edge that they have, Parramatta. And these conditions are perfect for them to shift the ball the way they did.
Fantastic afternoon here for footy. Zach Lomax lines up his kick. 13 metres out. Slight angle left-hand side of the sticks at the end of Western Sydney Stadium. In he comes, Lomax for a 6-0 lead here the Eels, and he makes no mistake. 3.5 played here in the first half on ABC Sport earlier at Dolphin Oval, the home side there. 62 beat Canberra 24. That means, Louis, if you're superstitious and believe in all those little hoodoos, they conceded 50. Can they win the comp, Canberra?
Yeah, they'll be fine.
Yeah. But still.
Well, I want to see Canberra win it now, just because they can get rid of that.
Break the curse.
Yeah, correct.
We can stop talking about it. There we go. Knights will kick off here. Parramatta set after points. You're with Brett Sprigg, Luke Lewis and John Gibbs for the 204th and final game of this NRL home and away season. Kicked off by Crossland. Goes down here again. Moses feeds it back to Barlaw and he takes on that defensive line. 15 out from his own line, 10 in from the eastern side. Fans out there shooting their eyes from the sunshine. Probably finished with a setting sun behind us here on the western side. They come through centre field. Tackle playing now Hopgood. And they come left-hand side again. So potent there, the Parramatta Eels, having scored the first try of the game through Dylan Brown against his future club. Tackle 30 out from their own line here. They get some run going here, the Parramatta Eels. And it is with Dylan Walker. Smith finds Moses, the captain. Deep kick downfield to that northeastern corner where Fletcher Hunt, the Newcastle fullback, is waiting. And he trots into the defensive line. Met solidly there by Will Bentony. 100th game for him, Will Bentony. 20th game this season. They waste no time here, Newcastle. On play 2, Marzu angles his run towards the east of his side, taking 33 out from his own line. In at dummy half here, the halfback Jack Cogger. There's a few players out there playing their last game for this club as well. Through hands they go, Croker. Off back on the inside now for Kai Pearce-Ball. He's West Tigers bound next year, the Englishman, Kai Pearce-Ball. Play it metre short of halfway. A couple of plays left this set now for Newcastle. Croker gets over halfway at his side, stop 40 out. The tackle of Hopgood. Last play, Knights, who trails 6-0 at the hands of the Eels here on ABC Sport. That last play kick goes up from Cogger. Hangs there a while for Lomax, and they pounce on him. Bradman Best got him. Play it 10 out from his own line here. Lomax, they waste no time from dummy half. That was sharp work down there from Moses. He's off over halfway, has the fullback to beat. Oh, he gets around Fletcher Hunt and he paces down that right-hand side of the ground and Mitch Moses scores a try in the corner. Oh, it's paradise, all right. The home fans love this. Dylan Brown scores first. His half partner, Mitch Moses, scores next in the first 6 minutes. It's the Eels 10-0 kick to come, Luke Lewis.
Oh, this is unbelievable. Really good work here by Parramatta. Mitch Moses, I'll tell you what, he's got some tail about him and really good recognition here. He got no marker, simple little pick-up out of dummy half, uses his speed, and it's good to see the Parramatta players that were offside. They didn't even turn and run. Zach Lomax was catching him, but as he got to Fletcher Hunt, he just goes, Mo's going to go this way. You're not going to catch me. That is a beautiful try there from Mitch Moses, and talk about individual brilliance. That is phenomenal.
Touchline, John Gibbs.
Yeah, fantastic. There's no iron team, but as far as Mitchell Moses is concerned, there's 5 in individual brilliance, and that's what that was. He went the short side. The in and away of Fletcher Hunt was just magnificent, and their 5-game block, as you said before the game, Spriggy, is the worst in history. They are leaking like a sieve well, it hasn't improved, and the crowd here is loving it.
It may get worse and worse across these next 75 minutes. Thank you, Gibbsy, for the Newcastle Knights. Yeah, 10-0 Parramatta Eels, 0467 920 222. If the Eels beat the Knights by 15, they will finish 11th. All things considered, that's a fair result for the season, says Mitch. Jason Roll's first year in charge. I'd consider that. Yeah, the 12th at the moment. 9 wins, 14 losses. Jim from Gloucester says if Dylan Brown's worth $1.3 million a year for 10 years, then I'm Usain Bolt. No. Say he was Usain Bolt was Mitch Moses in that try scoring effort.
He's got some speed, Mitch Moses.
And 85 metres.
I remember the first try that he scored here when Parramatta Stadium opened, and he ran the length and scored in that corner down there. Jeez, he showed some toe that day as well.
Zach Lomax, sideline conversion, eastern side of the ground, 24 metres out. 1 from 1 so far this afternoon. We've only played 6.5 minutes. The Eels have scored 2 tries, and Zach Lomax has not made the second conversion. So it remains Eels 10, Knights 0 here on ABC Sport. 0467 920 222. Big Daddy and Coffs Harbour asks, say, Brett, Luke and Gibbsy, can you tell me what kind of moon we have tonight, Big Daddy? Do you know what kind of moon? Is it the full moon, Gibbsy? It's coming up, isn't it?
No, it's coming up. It's not yet. Just hold your horses.
Stand down.
Let's go with the sunshine for the moment.
Yes, that's what we're most grateful for here at Western Sydney Stadium. Ken and Sandringham. Just read the Andrew Moore interview on the ABC website, listening to you. Incredible. My God, he was lucky to survive and all that. Yeah, he spoke so openly about that, Ken. Thank you for your text message, and we brought that to you earlier. You can hear the full interview with Maury, which was done by Michael Carianis on our Best of ABC Sport or NRL Daily podcast feed. Fantastic interview. So open and honest. He goes Addo Carr for the Eels, and he stopped 35 out from his own line. Brought down from behind there by Jacob Arthur. Of course, let's talk about guys against their former side. Of course, Jacob Arthur debuted as an Eel back in 2021. His dad coached the side. 40 out, southern end here for the Parramatta Eels. 10-0 their lead. Walker, no options through centre field, so he stopped there 5 short of the halfway. Smith sets up from dummy half on the second last, and he goes right-hand side for Barlaw. Eats a few more metres there, does Junior Barlaw. Gains maybe 8 of them, and he's inside the Newcastle half here, 40 out from that northern line. Smith keeps going right-hand side with that pass to Moses. High kick up in the air. Hunt will leap up there, the fullback, and brings it down in the company of Lomax. Lomax just ragdolls in. 15 out from that northern line and 20 in from the eastern touch. 8 gone first half here on ABC Sport. Parramatta 10, Newcastle 0 in the final game of season 2025. There they go, open side right. Dom Young transferred back to the Sydney Roosters midway through this year, of course. Play at 25 out. And now Bradman Best tries to find some pace, but he only meets Riley Smith and also Mitch Moses head on. Now a kick from dummy half from Colson behind the 40. This will bounce down now for the fullback in Isaiah Iongi, and the Eels go back on the attack. He's tackled 30 out from his own line.
I'm loving what Parramatta are doing at the moment, the way that they're setting up the field. They set up one side, they get a really nice long pass through the middle of the field. Dylan Walker sets up their play at the back, and they take the metres through their outside backs. It looks very, very sharp.
9 minutes played first half here at Western Sydney Stadium. Strong run this time from Sean Russell. Made a surprise return last week from a hand injury. He was supposed to miss the rest of the season. Now an angle run over halfway comes from Jermaine Hopgood. Play it here for Riley Smith. Off to Moses. Behind Barlaw there it goes to the fullback Iongi, and now on that right edge it's fed back to Kelma Tuolangi. Goes one, fed now the other, and he's stopped there by Frizzell. 27 out from that northern line. Last play the Eels, who lead 10-0 over Newcastle. Kick goes up, last play from Dylan Brown, and again the fullback launches Fletcher Hunt, and he's tackled 5 out from his own line. Touchline we go, John Gibbs.
Yeah, just clarification, I think it is actually a full moon. We've had so much sunshine, haven't been able to see it. I think it's a corn moon coming up. I've had too much on my mind. I'm discombobulated.
Corn moon. Thank you, Gibbsy. I knew I was onto something. Dummy half here, they go to Newcastle Knights, Phoenix Crossland. Now Gagai darts across Hopgood. Hopgood gets him eventually here in concert with Smith. 25 out, northern end here for the Newcastle Knights, who trail 10-0 here. 9.5 played first half here on ABC Sport. You're with Brett Sprigg, Luke Lewis and John Gibbs. Played there by Matt Croker, 30 out. Now it comes here, the kick from Arthur. Travels high and long downfield to the fullback, Isaiah Iongi. One of the shining lights this year for the Parramatta Eels. Scored 2 tries against the Warriors last week. He's lost the footy here. Big tackle from Best. It bobbles back here for Safiti, and Newcastle go back on the attack. Play at 35 out. From dummy half here, the half-back Cogger. They shift it left-hand side. Marzu has no options. Swats away Bensony. Still going Marzu. Still going. Bensony collars him, and now it'll count 10 out deep in that southeastern corner of the ground. This is only play 2 now for Newcastle. Kai Pearce-Paul tries to just push his way through. Back to McEwen out there for the Newcastle Knights on the other edge. Play it now here for Bradman Best. Open side right now for Newcastle. Croker through hands. Cogger, Arthur, here is Fletcher Hunt, and he's tackled 7 out right-hand side of the uprights. Play to Crossland, open side left, Frizzell darts across the goalpost now, shares it with Cogger, kick goes from McEwen, end over end, and guarded dead by Lomax. He got the shove there from Bradman Best, but it will be clear to restart and 7 tackles here for the Parramatta Eels, who lead 10-0, 11 gone first half on ABC Sport. Luke Lewis.
Yeah, well, Parramatta, they're doing everything right, but that last pass there from Iongi, just a little bit of pressure. They get a penalty now coming out of their own ends. They're going to kick upfield nicely, get some good field position. Once again, Parramatta, they don't have to overplay their hand in those backfield plays. Their setup of the field is brilliant. They're getting 5 or 6 on 3 every time they set up that wide shape with that simple shift. They're just going to take the play out the back.
First penalty of the game as the Eels find touch on the western side, just short of the halfway. John Gibbs on the sideline.
Yeah, Mitchell Moses pings the touchline. They're looking good. If they can control the ball, as Louis said, they are making space all over the park, so they're going to have a field day, but they must do the hard stuff up the middle first.
Walker to Moses, now on the inside here again with a press over halfway, and tackling and playing it there is Kelma Tuolungi. Now they come back to the left-hand side. Walker swarmed on there by 3 Newcastle defenders. Play at 35 out centre field. Riley Smith, cross here for Brown. Pass went behind the fullback Young. He dived on by the Newcastle Knights. It's won back here by Croker. Desperate stuff there from Matt Croker.
They're starting to do some silly things, Parramatta, already. And it's because they've got so much choice so early.
They got a 10-0 head start. Here's Gagai. And he trots around one of those would-be tacklers. Meets Barlow head on. 6 inside Eels territory. Newcastle here on play 2 as it comes left-hand side of the field. Fed back from Arthur to one of those ball carriers out there on that left edge. And it's played there by McEwen. They get 6 more as well for a ruck infringement. So it's a set restart. 30 out from Parra's line. Newcastle on the attack. It's their first good look at the game so far. Crossland, inside ball here again, comes from Frizzell to Safiti, pressing towards that 20-metre line, southern end of Western Sydney Stadium. Crossland, back here again now for Arthur, and now it's almost lost by Kai Pearce-Paul. Good tackle it was down there from Williams. 11 out, right-hand side of the post. They come here, the first receiver, Arthur, charging towards the line. This will be second last play, Newcastle. Open side left, they shift it. Frizzell finds the half-back Cogger, puts in the kick, they're chasing it now. Best was beaten to the ball by Lomax, who tumbles into the in-goal area, and there's no choice but to ground it. It'll be line drop out Parramatta, repeat set Newcastle, Eels lead 10-0, 14 gone first half. ABC Sport, Luke Lewis.
Yeah, not a bad little kick there from Cogger. Comes up the nice weight, gets a really good chase there from Bradman Best. Zach Lomax does a great job there, but he did ground the ball anyway. Even if he got out, would have been still a line drop out. Do they go short or long? Yet to be seen.
Only the full moon's tomorrow, by the way. Thank you, Artie from Mackay. And it's a lunar eclipse as well. Anyway, it's a very, it's a dribbled line drop out here from Parramatta Eels. Just sort of bounces down towards that 40-metre line. Not as bad as the dribble we have here talking about moons and things. Crossland, 30 out from that southern line. And now Frizzell on the charge and gains a quick dozen. Play at 20 out. Crossland, the right-hand side. Little dish away here for Arthur. Again, they come to the right. It's with Gagai. He tries to fend off Sean Russell. Gagai, the veteran. Very good gamer. Tackled 9 out deep in that corner of the ground. Dom Young, dummy half. On play 4. Croker. That gap closes there with Barlaw and also Walker. 10 out. Dead centre field here for the Newcastle Knights, who trail 10-0 at the hands of the Parramatta Eels. Comes to Safiti, and he's within 5 of the Eels line. Crossland, kick from dummy half. It's come off Smith. It was knocked on. Yeah, he tried to sort of just field that ball in close did the Parramatta hooker, and it's an Eels error. That will be a Newcastle scrum. 10 out, 20 in from the western side, not far away from you, John Gibbs.
Yeah, not a bad kick there from Phoenix Crossland. They're putting a little bit of pressure on, but Parramatta's still fresh and they're handling things. But the kick, I think, is the best opportunity that Newcastle are going to have to scoring. Is the tallest fullback in the world, Dom Young, to feed the scrum 10 metres out from the power line.
Here they go, the Englishman, Young. And across them, the base of the scrum, left-hand side he comes. Cogger shares it with his fullback in Hunt. He's claimed 14 out, left-hand side of the post. Play 2 here for the Newcastle Knights. Croker busy in this game so far. Louis backs his way into Barlaw and also Williams. He's 4 out from Parra's line. 10-0 is the Eels lead so far. Crossland off here again to Arthur. Awkward pass from the fullback. Hunt dived on by Dom Young. No, the flag was up on that western side. He didn't quite keep the ball alive, Dom Young. And so Eels get possession back again. 10 out from their own line. They lead 10-0. Tries to Dylan Brown and Mitch Moses so far.
Yeah, horrible attack here from the Newcastle Knights. They had him shot. Just had to get that pass right there. Fletcher Hunt couldn't find Dan Gagai. And then he had Young there. He had to turn around, but I think it was his hair. It was his hair that touches the line, and that's why he was out. So good work there by the touch judge.
Eels rocket upfield here, 25 out from their own line. Lomax tackled Smith, and a dummy half sends it right hand side for Will Bensony. His last try was round 23 against the Cowboys a month ago. 100th game today for Will Bensony, and now Kelma Tuolungi. Tall, powerful figure, 40 out, 20 in from the eastern side. Play 4 here, the Eels. Right to left, they shift it now. Williams again tried to find the gap, and it did close quickly. Croker in there with Kai Pearce-Paul. 20 in from that western side on halfway. Smith off here again. Walker. Hodgman almost made the break, but he was run down by Crossland. 35 out last play, the Eels 10-0 their lead. Moses runs the footy, shares it now with Benson. Lomax on the overlap, back on the inside now. Didn't quite finish. A bouncing ball picked up by Moses though, and Moses scores the try. Look at the Eels, almost been a meal of that, but Mitch Moses scores his second try, picked up the loose footy and ran about 12 metres, a far more simpler effort than his previous 85-metre job, but Mitch Moses scores his second try. It's the Eels 14, Knights 0, Parra kick to come, 18 gone first half.
Yeah, those nice little passes through the middle of the field are sucking all the defence in of Parramatta. They look up, they got a 4-on-3. Really good work there by Mitch Moses to take the option, to throw a cut-out pass there to Benson over that right edge. Some really nice skill there as well to find Zach Lomax back down that short side, and then beautiful pass back in. They don't get the pass that they want, don't hit them on the chest, but it goes to the people that they want it to go to. And the Parramatta players lining up everywhere. It's just a matter of who's going to pick it up. Mitch Moses, he just gets it on the run and gets a double as easy as you like. And I'll tell you, if Parramatta are patient and don't push the ball, we're looking at a 70-0 scoreline.
By the way, he passed his 50th career try mark as well with his first try, Mitch Moses. So 51 career tries now. Only had 3 before today this season, and now has 2. Going to our moon man, Jonty Gibbs.
Yeah, and that was an easy one. He's having a field day, and look, he means so much to this team because without him, they win less than 30% of their games. But when he's been playing this year, it's in excess of 50%. So that is a huge difference. So you talk about, players that mean so much to their side. Mitchell Moses is the key to Parramatta.
The assignment here for Zach Lomax is 15 metres out, 20 in from the eastern side. 1 from 2 so far this afternoon. Jenny in Swansea says, oh dear, how bad can it get? Feeling for all the Knights diehards. Yeah, they were showing something there in attack the previous few minutes, and then all for nothing as the Eels score their third try. And Lomax is now 2 from 3. It is 16-0, 19 gone first half.
Adrian, showing something.
The Knights had a couple
of chances. They had a little bit of field position.
Yeah, better than the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, they looked so lost out there, Newcastle.
Group 4 half-time score. Moree Boars lead Gunnedah Bulldogs 18-6, being played at Moree. Thank you to that correspondent. Big Daddy in Coffs Harbour has sent his thanks for the moon information. I'm not sure we're actually correct with that. Brian from Minor says, is Gibbsy a pagan? Let's talk about moons. Paul from Casula, on a serious note, Paul67 says, my eyes are watery listening to the Andrew Moore interview. It made a huge impression on me. I intend to listen to it again and share it. Yeah, some of you have said all that about just various health things just making sure that they're across all the stuff with their heart. That interview is up online and it was fantastic. All those that heard it agree with that. Smith, open side left. Little jinking run here again from Zach Lomax, and he's putting his back 13 out to his own line, southern end. Approaching the halfway mark of this opening 40. Earlier at Dolphin Oval, the Finns 62 beat Canberra 24, albeit the Raiders, the minor premiers, did have a depleted team as it comes from behind the 30-metre line for Moses. Bounce down there for Fletcher Hunt, and the Newcastle fullback gathers, and he's wrapped up there by Hopgood Williams. Oh, he's lost the footy. Newcastle error, 30 out from that northern line, and the Eels will have a full set here inside Knights territory to add to their 16-0 lead, Louis.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for Newcastle to hold Parramatta out again here, but nice early kick from Mitch Moses. Good chase, good solid contact there from Parramatta. 3 in on the fullback. Fletcher Hunt just couldn't hold the ball and comes up with a loss, 30 metres out from his own line. So a big defensive set early. I feel like if they score here, it's almost game over.
Touchline we go, John Gibbs.
Well, that was a big tackle in particular from Jack Williams. He's been in great form. He's a really good edge runner. He's been a great buy for Parramatta, and they will score if they hang on to the ball, Louis.
Left-hand side of the scrum they come. Brown tries to shrug off one tackle there of Jacob Arthur. And a play at 25 out, Dylan Brown. Last appearance in a Parrot jersey, wearing his familiar number 6 for the first time since round 19. Angled run now here for the Eels, 15 out. Williams has stopped. Plays it now for Smith on this third play. Walker to Moses. Through the gap to Alangi. Almost got there. Desperate tackle did come out there on that edge. Play it now for Smith. Open side left here, and 6 more tackles for the Parramatta Eels, who lead 16-0. Hopgood playing. 5 out, right-hand side of the posts. What does Smith do here? He goes himself from dummy half. Breaks through some lacklustre defence and scores Parra's 4th try. And he punts that ball deep into the Michael Cronin stand. Riley Smith, the hooker, scores the try. It's 20 points to 0. Kick to come to Parramatta Eels.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. Riley Smith out of dummy half. Seriously, just gets up, throws a little dummy. He doesn't even get down low.
First try for the year, by the way, Riley Smith.
He doesn't even get down low. Just goes straight through. That is the softest defence I've seen.
Yeah.
I reckon it'll be mercied by half-time.
22nd game this year for Ollie Smith, of course, came across from Penrith and scores his first try. That must be his first career try then, in that case. I'll double check that, but John Gibbs on the touchline, down to you.
Yeah, it is. That's why he's so exuberant. 22nd game, that's his first career try. He's been quite good this year. He's come in, got his opportunity. He's been very busy. He's an effervescent type of player. And I've got to say, the body language from Parramatta is fantastic. Conversely, they're down and glum, the poor old Newcastle boys in their last game. So at this stage, the Titans are cheering. It'll be Newcastle with a wooden spoon. But congratulations to young Riley, his first career try.
Just wanted at least some sort of contest here, Louis, in the last game of the season, to make us wonder about the wooden spoon and all that. But
we're going to
I think wonder no more.
We might get the
highest ever score.
Highest ever score.
Yeah.
How good would that be?
Newcastle are thinking about Mad Monday.
What is the highest ever score, Ralph?
It's like 70-something, 80-something. I always forget. There's lots. I forget my margins mixed up with my scores. Lomax, 15 out, 20 in from the eastern side. 18 minutes left in this first half, in which the Eels have scored soon to be 22 points. Lomax on the approach, and the flags are up. Parra 22, Newcastle 0. The Knights look already condemned to the wooden spoon of 2025, and it will be the 5th time in their history. 0467 920 222. David from Tathra, Group 16 Grand Final. Tathra Sea Eagles 30 to defeat Pambula Bulldogs 14. Ballina Broncos asked who's the defence coach tonight. Maybe he has to go after Adam O'Brien. Who's the defence coach?
Ryan McDermott.
There you go. Oh, they're talking about him maybe.
He's actually really good. He's got great credentials, but
Wazza says Newcastle are a basket case. Eels in the top 8 next year, says Big Daddy again. Yeah, it's all about, maybe a 3rd straight win to finish off the year for Jason Riles in his first campaign, and sort of building on something for next year. Here's Smith at dummy half, the try scorer. Through hands, Walker. Now Williams makes light work of Arthur on that right edge Newcastle defence. Still 25 out from his own line here, though, Williams, the Parramatta, who lead 22 points to 0. 17:40 left in this first half. Earlier, Dolphins 62, Canberra 24. Dolphins at least square their ledger. Kick from dummy half here from Smith. Was well behind the 40. Bouncing down here for Mike Batts. Back here for the Fox, who sockers out in open play. Brown on the loose ball. Back to Walker. Up action streaming forward. Walker waits and now steps through traffic. Oh, wrong foot. A couple more and scores into the post.
He's going to get taken off him. He had to stop. Junior Polo runs in front of him. I reckon they're going to take it off him.
Let's have a listen to referee Raymond.
I believe there's a Knights defender obstructed.
Yeah.
Junior Polo runs through.
All over it, Louis.
He just had to stop, and you could see it's just everyone was chasing down.
It was such a confusing bit of play because he sort of...
But you know what? He does stop. They've still got plenty of time to make a tackle here. This is ridiculous.
All the defenders overran Dylan Walker, and he's sort of looking around going, okay, well, am I giving this ball off, or what's going on?
See, look, he actually stops here.
So Barlaw, yeah.
He stops. Right, that's fine. Look, he doesn't do anything. He stops. Every play gets out of the tackle.
But Barlaw makes...
No, I know. But everyone gets back out of the play of the tackle, and he's ready to make this tackle. So it's a little bit of a different play. He actually generally stops. He waits.
Junior Paulo is now in front of the ball and has denied Jake Arthur the ability to defend.
I understand that. But why can't you sit there and watch it? They all come back into a position to make a tackle.
Louis, LK says decision made, okay? John Gibbs on the touchline.
Well, that's ridiculous. I'll tell you why, Louis. Why, if that's the case, why doesn't he just vote penalty then? Why does he wait for it to go over and score the try? I mean, no one was interfered with. The tackle could have been made. They just gave up on it. And technically that's probably correct. But that's, if it's obstruction, they've made the rule. If no one is interfered with really, and it could have been the tackle, still could have been made.
Yeah, I'm with you,
Mate, that's ridiculous. Just by the way, 91-6, St George beat Canterbury back in 1935. Let's go back to 2005 between these two teams. Parramatta won that one 50-0. That's the biggest gap between these two.
I reckon they'll surpass that, Louis.
Yeah, I agree.
On halfway here, the Knights. Penalty count 1-1. Scoreline 22-0 Paras way. Bradman Best receives it now up that left-hand side that Bensity and Moses stop him. 40 out, hit in from the eastern side. Dummy half Marju. Through hands it comes. Frizzell passed out the back. Fletcher Hunter to go and retrieve it, and now he's dragged down from behind by Jack Williams, 40 out centre field. Second last Newcastle, I should say they're actually last on the table. Second last play of this set. Come back here for Matt Croker, and now Fletcher Hunt wide here again to Kai Pearce-Paul. It was Sydney last time these sides met Kai Pearce-Paul. Up that western side they go, still alive here. Now it's the last for Newcastle. Dom Young fires it back here. Jake Arthur off a step, his kick for a Yongi, launching through the air. Fletcher Hunt came through as well. No penalty. Paras away here. Yongi 20 out from his own line.
Yeah, Fletcher Hunt's still down on the ground. I think he's claiming a sore shoulder here. I'm not too sure, but if he didn't catch that ball there, Yongi, it would have been a penalty.
Happened right near you, John Gibbs.
I reckon he's knocked himself out. That's what I reckon's happened. I reckon he's gone head first into the turf. So more bad news for Newcastle. And Yongi did a great job to hang on to it, but he flies through the air. It's a disrupting type thing. He goes straight past him. He hits his head on the ground. Is that how you've seen it up there, Louis?
Yeah, absolutely. That looked horrible. He's done for the day.
Yeah, Fletcher Hunt. So we'll keep an eye on him, Gibbsy. Thank you very much. Someone says here, every time the Knights lose, I paint my house. It's looking fantastic. 0467920222. But yeah, it's Fletcher Hunt still being assessed on field, by the way.
Well, he's up and moving, which is good. He's sitting up. But I don't think we've seen that this afternoon. That was horrible. I actually think he might have even got an elbow off of Yongi in the air. And he might have been a little bit knocked out before he even hit the ground.
Yeah. Mark from the Central Coast says, Spriggsy, when you look at it, if you come second last, you don't get anything. Think about that one. Oh, I don't think the wooden spoon's a great thing to get either. But
you don't actually get a wooden spoon.
I understand that too. Anyway, Sean Russell has the ball here for Parramatta. 22 out from their own line. 22-0 is that scoreline, by the way, as Junior Barlaw is swarmed on by three Newcastle defenders. Play it now for Riley Smith. Walker, right-hand side shift. Moses now the inside ball to Alungi. He crawls toward the 40-metre line in his own half of Western Sydney Stadium. 15 left in this first half. Penalty going the Eels' way.
Again, just overplaying his hand there. He just stays on the tackle a little bit too long there. Tulangi. Gilman, I think it was. It was on Tulangi.
Around the grounds, I think they're all full-time scores now. Sunshine, the Queensland Cup finished up. Jets 25, Sunshine Coast Falcons 24, by the way. Went to Ipswich, in case you missed that. That close game in the Queensland Cup. Hopgood. Off off the back of the tap here. 25 out from that northern end, to which the Knights are defending. Parra on the attack. Walker finds Brown. Inside ball, Williams. Escapes the clutches of Crossland. Now will play it. 17 out, left-hand side of the post. Smith. Walker. It'll show and go. Now a second one as he goes inside that 10-metre line. Tackled by Croker and Frizzell. 6 out, right-hand side of the uprights. Riley Smith, that short side right, as now they come. That's brought down by the man on that right edge. Playing it now to Alungi. Smith, left-hand side Moses, second last here for the Eels, and it's been lost by Junior Barlaw. So, Parramatta error, lost into the path there of Kai Pearce-Paul. Newcastle turned defence into attack, and they trail 22-0 at the hands of Parramatta Eels. Luke Lewis, pulling left first half.
Oh, here's Newcastle getting a little bit of a penalty there, saying it was a leg ball. And Hopwood's getting up saying, nah, it wasn't me. But this will be a good opportunity here for them to kick upfield and maybe just get through a set, get to a kick and just sort of try and get back into a little bit of rhythm and make something of this game. But they've got to start now.
Penalty count 2 all. There's been 1 ruck infringement each as well so far. 22-0 the score. And Cody Hopwood makes his first grade debut. So trots on in jersey number 19. 19 years of age. He's a prop from West Maitland, the Wallaroos. Played New South Wales 19s and Australian schoolboys. Newcastle rumble up. Through to the back of the penalty. It's played now by Brayley. 40 out from that Eels line. Fed back here to another benchy in Thomas Cant. 35 out, 20 in Western side. Play 4 here. 13 left in this first half on ABC Sport. Left-hand side they go as Gagai receives the ball from Cogger. Bounced off one defender. Makes light work of Walker. Gagai's leg to 15 out, left-hand side of the post. They roll on quickly here. Here is Hopwood. Posts it back here towards Brayley. And now Gagai still has it. 7 out, left-hand side. This will be last played Newcastle. Down 22-0. Kick comes from the half-back. And it's been scored by Jermaine McEwen. Nice thinking from Jack Cogger. Puts in a rolling ball to the in-goal. And McEwen scores the try just behind that left-hand side of the uprights. So the Knights do in fact score. 22-4, kick to come Newcastle. 12 left first half on ABC Sport right across Australia. And the ABC Listen Up, you're with Luke Lewis.
Yeah, well, they got the drop ball, the penalty from Jermaine Hopgood leg ball, and they kicked upfield nicely and they make Parramatta pay eventually and they get back into this game. So maybe that is just enough to turn the game and get a little bit of momentum, a little bit of belief back into that Newcastle jersey and start making a game of this. But if again, go back to Parramatta, they control the ball and they're patient, they will still put a score on. But if they don't respect the ball, Newcastle can score tries if they want to.
Touchline we go, John Gibbs.
Well, that's their best option is kicking because the Parramatta defence has been handling everything that's been thrown at them. But when you're kicking, you've got a good chase, you're always a chance. Nice little deft kick there from Jack Cogger. Good chase from Jermaine McEwen.
A couple of you have sent texts about the record score, 91-6. That's St George over Canterbury in 1935. A week later, East beat St George 87-7. Only 3 points for a try there, says Rooster Mars. Here is an attempt at goal from Cogger, 22 out. That left-hand side misses to that near side, and it is none from 1 for him, and the Eels 22 lead the Knights 4 here on ABC Sport. Loving the call whilst watching the TV, but not loving the score. It's not our year. Hoping we redeem ourselves in 2026 as Alan in Adelaide, as a Knights supporter. Alan in Long Jetty enjoying the call. I think Raiders v Knights and Eels v Finns would have been the better contest for today's games. Go on you, Alan. Gaz in Liverpool talks about the chat of the biggest ever score nearly always seems to stop it from happening. Usually, this game, time will tell in an hour or so, I guess. Yeah, well, the Knights at least scored some points. But I'll tell you what, Raiders fans are hoping does go away is the talk of you can cede 50 and can't win the comp, because the Raiders did that 62-24 at Dolphin Oval earlier. Of course, it wasn't the version of the Raiders that will be contesting this final series starting Sunday afternoon against Brisbane first up. 20 out here, the Newcastle Knights from their own line. Marzu, quick run here, gains 12. He's 30 out now. Played to Brayley, takes off from dummy half. Off to the try scorer in McEwen, who meets 2 tacklers there, Benson and Moses, 5 short of the halfway. There is the young fella on debut, Cody Hopwood, and he's claimed just inside Parra territory. Last played Newcastle, down 22-4 with 10:40 left in the first half. High crossfield kick for Josh Adokar, and the Fox Trots across his own 20-metre line here, but he is stopped by Thomas Cant. He'll play at 25 out. Might have to just put the brakes on that match race between the Fox and the Hammer, because Hamaso Tabuai Fado suffering a knee injury, Louis, at Dolphin Oval earlier. Possible MCL, we think. 22-4 here, Parrot leads Newcastle as the Eels are on the attack. And a centre field run on this occasion over the halfway, and playing it down there is the fullback Xiaomi. Smith dummy half on this second last play. And now trying to get something going here with Charlie Geimer. Claimed 40 out centre field. Smith chooses Moses. Right foot kick, high and long, down towards that northeastern corner of Western Sydney Stadium. Gagai takes the high ball. And by the time he's tackled by Hopgood and also Tuolangi, he's 15 out from his own line, 20 in Eastern touch. 9:40 left in this first half on ABC Sport. Eels 22, Knights 4. Marzu tries to get something going here for Newcastle. Play at 20 out. A dummy half. And no real gain there for Jacob Arthur. For Parramatta Eel. Right-hand side they come, back through centre field now, Safiti. Good post-contact gain there in the tackle of Matt Dury. 50th game today for Matt Dury. Crossland sends it wide here, and Tom Cant is claimed on hard. In fact, it's Hopwood on debut. Last play kick does come from Jacob Arthur. High and long down towards Lomax, facing his own goal line. He gets into some open space here. Shrugs away one tackle there of Crossland, stopped by McEwen and also Thomas Cant, 25 out from his own line. Yongi shows some pace here towards that eastern touch line. 30 out now. Oh, big hit there, Benson. Got rid of the defender in Cogger. Still going here. Shares it with Lomax, and now he's tackled 5 short of the halfway. Para 22, Newcastle 4, 8:40 left in this first half on ABC Sport. Brett Sprigg, Luke Lewis, John Gibbs with you. Josh Adokar takes on that left-hand side. Crossland stops him, 40 out. This will be second last play for the Parramatta Eels here at home. Smith, Hopgood, through hands, Geimer. Moses sent the pass right into the chest of Jack Cogger. So it will be a Parramatta scrum feed, 40 out from that northern line, Luke Lewis.
Yeah, well, Jack Cogger has to come up and make his read. And if he doesn't get it right, Mitch Moses gets that pass away. Again, that's what I've been saying. They'll be getting 4. There would have been a 4-on-2 opportunity out there for Parramatta. So lucky there for Jack Cogger to come up and knock the ball down. So I reckon Parramatta would have been away down that right edge. But they're going to have to defend up here, the other Knights.
So scrum feed, 40 out. Dave in the cab says if players do the grand final sprint, they should have to carry a ball.
Yes,
makes sense. Okay, Moses. Short side right, they come here, Yongi. Speaking of pacey players, Eels fullback is stopped 35 out, in from that eastern side. Smith dummy half. Off here to Alungi. This game began with a bang, at least for the Parramatta Eels. 2 tries for Mitch Moses, 1 for Brown, 1 for Riley Smith. Newcastle have scored through Jermaine McEwen. 20 out. Midway through the set here for the Eels. Left-hand side they shift it this time. Dylan Brown, jinking run, and he is claimed there by Cant. Play at 10 out. Smith, open side here to Hopgood. Bursting through. Matt Dury slams it down. A try in his milestone game. His 50th career game, Matt Dury, and the Eels get one back here on Newcastle. 26-4, kick to come Para. 6:50 left first half, Luke Lewis.
Yeah, Parramatta are just toying with them. Every time they get down, I think they've only defended their line once, Parramatta, and Newcastle to hold Para out. But really nice pass here from Jermaine Hopgood. He goes into the line, he sets up as if he's going to play out the back. It looks like he's going out the back there to Mitch Moses, sells it nicely, hits Dury on the chest. A little bit of a slight change of angle there of his footwork there, Dury, and just goes in between 2 players, scores a simple try, and it's another 4-pointer on the board.
Touchline we go, John Gibbs.
Yeah, Matt Dury, good work, good hard running there. It was on that right edge, and they're doing a good job. That was after the Jack Cogger charged down on the pass or knockdown of Mitch Moses' pass, of course, but I'd like a penny for the thoughts. I know he's getting a king's ransom, but I'd like a penny for the thoughts of Dylan Brown as he's watching this all unfold. I know he's going to get paid well. Ooh, it's going to be a long 10 seasons.
Getting a fair idea from Newcastle fans in the text as well. 0467920222. Icarus says, like to give Dane Gagai a huge rap. He turns out week in, week out, puts in for the Knights. Knights win, lose or draw. He's played every game this year. Don't get it. Passed, of course, that 300 game mark earlier.
He goes over the crack, though.
Only 3 players, Matt Croker, Dane Gagai and Jaden Whaley, have played every game this year for the Newcastle Knights. Here's Zach Lomax almost directly in front. And there is 2 more for the Parramatta Eels. 28-4 here, and Lomax is now 4 from 5. As you find us here on ABC Radio, ABC Sport Digital, and indeed by the ABC Listen app. Brett Sprigg, Luke Lewis, John Gibbs. Mohammed from Brisbane says, no worries about my Raiders lost today. They'll be ever ready to flex their muscles against the Broncos next Sunday. We will rock Canberra Stadium. Broncos will never forget what hit them. On you, Mohammed, thank you for your text. Peter in Hawks Nest says, you wouldn't coach Newcastle for monopoly money? Well, yeah. It's going to be interesting, isn't it? Because they have not appointed their coach yet, unlike Gold Coast, who, of course, have Josh Hannay coming in. I know you spoke to Scott Sattler, their new director of football, on the show last week, and the directions that they're going, but still a few doubts around Newcastle, apart from they have a very expensive halfback headed their way. He's out there with the ball now, Brown. Goes left-hand side and claimed 20 out, 20 in. From that western side is Jack Williams. Play it quickly here. Tackle 3 here for Parramatta. This time Hopgood plays it for Smith. And Hopwood, so you've got Hopgood and a Hopwood out there for either side. Hopwood there for Newcastle, makes the tackle there on Charlie Geimer. Play it for Smith. Back here, Dylan Brown. Left-hand side of Yongi. And now Russell on the way to Carr. He shows some good toe. Evades the tackle of Pierce Paul. And finds his captain running up on the inside. And Mitch Moses has the first half hat-trick. 32-4, kick to come Parramatta with 4.5 left in the opening 40.
Way too good, Parramatta. Their setup play is phenomenal. Looks so good, and as we've been saying all the time, every time they shift it to the edge, if they play at the back, they've got a 3-on-2 or a 4-on-2 every opportunity. And this time it was it was actually a 3-on-3 this one. And they get the skill right. There's a couple of horrible reads there from the Newcastle Knights defenders, but the speed down that sideline, and you've got Mitch Moses who's got speed to push him back up. Addo-Carr doesn't even attempt to go around the fullback. Just a simple draw and pass, and that's a 3-4 already for Mitch Moses.
Touchline we go, John Gibbs.
Oh, that was just all too easy, and it was bad defence from Dom Young. They shouldn't have been able to get... They didn't have an overlap, but they created one artificially. I don't know how they did it, but it was probably poor defence, a very poor read from Newcastle. They're arm in arm at the end, at that northern end of Western Sydney Stadium, but wow, it's going to be a long half-time. What do you reckon Adam O'Brien in his last game with Newcastle is going to say in his half-time speech? I'd do a Louis. I wouldn't turn up.
I wouldn't go in there. I'll be in my car.
I knew you'd say that, Louis.
I'm not even tuning up. There's one more try. I'm walking down to my car, getting in there, and just never going back there.
When did you not turn up?
I'm just saying, if I was coaching this, and I'm not there next year, I'm going home. I'm going to turn the kettle on, put my feet up on the lounge.
Lomax, left-hand side of the post, 12 metres out, makes no mistake. He's 5 from 6. Eels 34, Knights 4. Things going from bad to worse. Newcastle condemned to the wooden spoon with this result, with still 3 minutes and 11 seconds left in this opening half.
I reckon they get to 40. I reckon they'll probably score for half-time.
Yeah. Can someone tell Moses to stop throwing his arms in the air chasing penalties? He's the worst. Detracts from him as a player, says Dev on the sunny coast.
Did he just do the hang plane? He put the ball down and he was falling. Did he?
I missed that, but there you go. I'm seeing a replay now. Yeah, looks like it. Ty says, I'm happy for our friend Parramatta Rachel. Yes, indeed. Mitch in the Highlands too. He's a big Para fan. And regular Texas. 15 out from that southern line here. Eels go back on the attack. Set after points. 34-4 is the first half scoreline here. Still with 2:50 to play. Centre field, a little run here from Hopgood, enveloped by 3 Newcastle defenders. Smith looks right but goes left. Off here again for Jack Williams, former Shark, first year at Parramatta. Scored a try against the Warriors last week, Williams. Plays it to Smith. Centre field run now from Charlie Geimer. He's 8 metres short of the halfway. Smith keeps it going. Second last play here, Moses. Lomax tried to shake and bake there over halfway on his opposite number in Cogger. And now it's been lost. Picked up here by Smith, so it wasn't an error, it wasn't forward. Moses out here, Benson, he kicks infield. Lomax still chasing. Sockers to advantage. Dom Young comes in and he just hacks it out of the air and out over the dead ball line. So
Jack Rogers gone down. He just caught a bit of time.
Oh, yeah, here he is.
Yeah.
20 out from that northern line.
Tell you what, Mitch Moses could have had 4 then. Yeah, Zach Lomax coming up as well. I reckon if Mitch Moses, if Zach Lomax doesn't come into that play and just lets it bounce one more time, I reckon Mitch Moses gets the bounce and scores under the post.
34-4 Para's lead. Line dropout coming up here. Newcastle, 2 minutes and 12 seconds left in the first half. John Gibbs on the sideline.
Well, just on Mitch Moses, his 52nd try, as I said earlier, he's gone from 49 to 52, Brett. That's his first treble. He's got 6 doubles before, but that's the most tries he's scored in the game, which is quite remarkable. What's remarkable, more remarkable even, is that he scored him in the first half.
He might score 3 more yet, Mitch Moses. Jason McGloster asks, who do you pick for the GF as far as referees? Do you have any thoughts about who should be the referee for the grand final, Louis, or for the big finals?
Nah, not at the moment. I don't really.
Appreciate your text, Jason, but yeah, a bit to think about at the moment. So, Croker comes back on here for the Newcastle Knights as Cogger makes his way off. 2:12 left. Dagai, short line dropout. Trouble's about 15 on the chest of Adokar. So the Eels do get the footy back here, deep in Newcastle territory. And he's collared out there by Safidi. Play at 12 out here, Adokar. Smith back to Goma. Back against the Eels, scoring at least one more try in this. A minute to be left. Just the one try, you'd think. Moses back here to Alungi, backs his way there into Crossland, and heat back desperately there by Newcastle's defence. Minute 40 left, 34-4 is the Eels lead. Short side right they go. Moses wide to Lomax, takes on Marzu. Flick pass out the back here. Moses must chase it, so too Riley Smith. Shared back here for Jermaine Hopgood. They shift it right to left here, Parramatta, and now Williams in the corner. He's still probably shy, and he's run down there by the Newcastle defence. Dummy half Sean Russell. Off here to Dylan Brown. Moses running crossfield kick, goes out in that Lomax swing. Back there now, Benson is still alive, and it's scored by Tuolungi, but I fancy it may have been knocked forward, and White Raymond agrees.
Starting no try, Liam, just confirmed knock on.
65 seconds left in this opening 40 here at Western Sydney Stadium. The Eels 34, Newcastle 4. This is Liam Kennedy, the bunker.
Takes possession.
That's a nice.
Passes the ball backwards.
Assistant bunker, Luke Willis.
Pedersini then knocks the ball on towards Newcastle's dead ball line. Decision made.
I don't know how. I'm happy for him to say that's a knock on. I don't understand how they can say that. How they can see it's a knock on.
It just looked like one. I know you can look at the replays, but to the naked eye, well, surely it's been knocked on in there somewhere. Anyway, so yes, that's how it will end up. And it will be a Knights ball, 10 out from their own line in front of the Peter Sterling stand here at Western Sydney Stadium. Back to John Gibb from the touchline.
Yeah, just a bit of action down here. Now, Fletcher Hart, he was ruled out of the game after he went head first into the ground. Now, I'm not sure, but there's James Schiller was the 18th man, correct? He's taken the blue bib off, so I'm not sure what's happened here, so we'll get back to you with that. If that had been ruled a try, by the way, they would have ruled it was a knockback, and because he ruled it a knock-on, he ruled it a knock-on.
So the only way it would see Schiller out there is if Hunt and Cogger are both Category 1s at this stage, but also still a lot of time to go as we approach half-time. Through the gap, Croker links up here with Thomas Cant. Newcastle on the advance, but still a metre shy of that halfway line with 35 seconds left on the clock in this first half. Fed back here now to the debutant Cody Hopwood. 34-4 is the Eels lead. Last play kick from Jacob Arthur. Up it goes for Josh Adokar, and he is trying to press through that right edge defence, featuring Pierce Paul and also Dom Young. English combination. Dylan Brown dummy half. Off here too. A bit of a blitz there from Sean Russell. Showed good pace, but no real yardage gain here. And now Zach Lomax has put down 40 out from his own line to bring an end to what was just, well, what's Sean Russell doing here? He's just going to grab the jersey of Jacob Arthur. But yes, that's half-time. Parramatta 34, Newcastle 4. 3 tries to Mitchell Moses in the fourth 16th and 35th minutes for the Eels. Dylan Brown scored in the first 90 seconds of the game to set the tone there for the home side against his future side, of course. Riley Smith and Matt Dury also on the board here. 6 tries to 1. Jermaine McEwen, the sole scorer for the Newcastle Knights in the 27th minute. 5 from 6 conversions, Lomac. 34 for the halftime scoreline, Louis. Penalty count, by the way, 2 all. Ruck infringements, 1 all. And we'll keep an eye on that thing with Fletcher Hunt and the fact that, as Gibbsy said, he thought he saw James Schiller preparing to come onto the ground. But your thoughts on the opening half, first of all?
I just thought Parramatta were amazing. The way that they set up their field and the way that they're playing their footy. They're asking questions through the middle of the field for their forwards. A couple of nice little tip-ons. They're playing out the back. Mitch Moses is having an absolute field day out there. He's playing short sides. As soon as he sees that there's an overlap, he'll play. It doesn't matter if it's last play. They're all doing a really, really good job. They're scrambling well in defence a couple of times there as well, just to hold the Newcastle Knights out. But, yeah, look, Parramatta, I mean, they've been great, Parramatta, but Newcastle, they're disgraceful. That's all I can say.
The touchline, John Gibbs.
Yeah, and just confirmation for Kamali there. His last game in charge. I know he got a couple of games to go. He's giving away for the NRLW, who are on, of course, after this game. Confirmation, James Schiller saw him take the bib off. It is a Category 1 for Fletcher Hunt. We knew that when he went straight headfirst into turf. And it's a Category 1 for Jack Cogger. So activation of the 18th man, James Schiller, for this second half.
Okay, thank you, Gibbsy, for that. More from you after ABC News, of course. If the Knights lose, the Knights are losing this game, they'll get the wooden spoon, and it'll be 9 losses in a row, Louis, so the equal worst losing streak of this season, given, of course, we saw South do similar. They at least had a few wins, turned their season around in the last month of the regular season, but the Newcastle Knights is going from bad to worse in Adam O'Brien's final game in charge. They'll be 6 wins, 18 losses. Peter in Coffs Harbour has sent Group 2 Rugby League Grand Final scores at Coffs Harbour National Stadium. Full-time in first grade, then Buckerheads 14. Back-to-back premiers after defeating Sawtell 2. Thank you, Peter, for that. Filthy Phil says, "G'day, lads. I still have a sore neck from shaking my head for 40 continuous minutes yesterday during the Tigers game. It was a blocker, or a shocker. But yes, they did cough up that lead against the Gold Coast Titans, which is why the Newcastle Knights, the Titans jumped off the bottom. Newcastle will jump back there with this significant defeat, 34-4 at half-time here at Western Sydney Stadium. Rooster Muzz says, Jonty, Louis and Spriggs, never mind the kettle on and feet up. If I was Adam O'Brien, I'd be at the pub by now. Yes, Nigel in Cairns. Cricket season for you blokes starts in 40 minutes and leaves. So there you go. Mark from Murrayfield says, I must take pity on all these dudes who say the Raiders will beat the Broncos next week because Reece Walsh is going to flush them down the toilet. Very good, Mark. 0467920222 34 for the scoreline here. Earlier at Dolphin Oval, 62-24 was a win to the home side there at Redcliffe. Around the grounds, as Gibbsy said, an NRLW game coming up here later on, featuring Parramatta and West Tigers. The top 6 there is done, by the way. And it's a top 6 final system this year. We'll be added 2 teams, a 12-team comp. I'll run through all that with you later on as well. We hope to get confirmation shortly after full-time here of what the actual time slots are, confirmed and locked in for next week's NRL Final Series. We think we have a pretty strong idea of that, but I'm sure an official word may come through as early as 6 p.m, as soon as the second half is done here. The Eels 34 lead the Knights 4. Back with us very shortly, but right now it's time for ABC News.
ABC News, I'm Sam Wilkinson. Victoria Police says the horrific stabbing of 2 young boys in Melbourne's Outer West last night was possibly a case of mistaken identity as friends and family of the victims mourn. Joshua Allen reports.
Police were called to Cobblebank just before 8 o'clock to find 2 boys aged 12 and 15, both suffering serious stab wounds just a few hundred metres from one another. Police say the 2 boys had just stepped off the bus with a third friend before they were allegedly attacked by a group of 8 young males. They say the pair were not gang members and were victims of a targeted attack. Abiola Law is a family friend of the eldest victim, Dao Arquen, and says he was a bright child.
But he didn't deserve to die like that. We came this country for safety, not to bury our young children.
Police say the investigation remains in its early stages, but has all the markings of a youth gang attack.
Police say a man who was shot dead in the Melbourne CBD early this morning was known to police, and it was likely a targeted attack. Emergency services were called to the corner of Franklin and Elizabeth Streets just before 4 a.m. At least one shot was fired at a 26-year-old Seabrook man while he was standing outside an apartment complex with two other men who took him to the Royal Melbourne Hospital. He died shortly after. Victoria Police Detective Inspector Graham Banks says detectives are investigating a car at the scene.
The car, I believe, was stopped, and the person had been standing in that vicinity for a little while, and a person from the car shot the person. So not in the drive-by that maybe people imagine, where a car is fastly driving past the location.
Liberal Senator Jacinta Numpa Price has taken an extraordinary swipe at her senior colleague Alex Hawke, accusing him of berating her staff and engaging in cowardly conduct. Here's National Affairs correspondent Jane Norman.
Earlier this week in a TV interview, the Liberal Senator claimed the government was allowing Indian migrants into Australia to boost the Labor Party's vote. A short time later, Senator Price was forced to issue a statement clarifying that Australia has a non-discriminatory migration policy. Today, in a lengthy social media post, she expressed her regret for making the comments, while at the same time accusing her colleague Alex Hawke of berating her staff and engaging in cowardly and inappropriate conduct. Mr. Hawke had tried to contact Senator Price following the TV interview to encourage her to clean up her remarks. He's issued a statement saying he supports the Senator's ongoing work to clarify the comments she's made.
Beachgoers at Sydney's northern beaches say a fatal shark attack over the weekend is a devastating reminder of the dangers of the ocean. 57-year-old father Mercury Salakis was killed by a suspected white shark while surfing at Longreef on Saturday morning. Northern Beaches Council has reopened several beaches today. Longreef and Dee Why remain closed until further notice. Dee Why local Jen Cooper spoke through tears, saying it's a sad reality check.
It's honestly a really devastating accident, but we're very aware of the conditions, and sharks are part of our lifestyle here on the beaches, so I don't think it'll stop us, but it is just that little bit of an awareness that they are out there, and it's just a bit of a reality check.
London police say more than 400 people have been detained during a demonstration in support of Palestine Action, a group that's been banned by the British government. The BBC's Dominic Casciani reports.
As Big Ben chimed 1 o'clock, hundreds of people produced placards and marker pens and wrote, "I oppose genocide, I support Palestine Action." Most sat down, and soon after, some of the 1,200 police officers deployed began making arrests. Many protesters went floppy to make it harder for them to be carried to police vans. The organisation behind today's action, Defend Our Juries, says it wants to overwhelm the police.
Ukrainian officials say a Russian drone attack on the capital Kyiv has killed at least 2 people and sparked fires at several high-rise apartment buildings in the city's east and west. The city's mayor, Vitaly Klitschko, says a 4-storey apartment building caught fire from the debris of drones destroyed in the overnight attack. And ABC broadcaster Andrew Moore has provided an update on his health almost a month after suffering a heart attack. He was taken to hospital last month and has undergone multiple surgeries to have stents and a defibrillator inserted. Moore says he had several episodes while already in hospital that required resuscitation again.
When I was cleared of being in imminent danger by Professor Kumar, who looked after my case, that I had 20% chance of surviving. But I went from that to being told almost in the same sentence that I'm out of imminent danger and you should do anything you normally could, including what I do for a living.
You're up to date with the latest ABC News.
Vote for your favourite in ABC Radio National's Top 100 Books of the 21st Century.
Need inspiration? We've got a list.
Voting has opened.
Look for Top 100 on the ABC Radio National homepage.
ABC sports coverage of the 2025 NRL Premiership.
Through hands it comes. Walker fed back here to the run of Williams. He's out some space. Takes on the fullback. Pops it back here towards Dylan Brown, who dummies wide and goes in to score behind the posts. That was sharp work down there from Moses. He's off over halfway. Has the fullback to beat. Oh, he gets around Fletcher Hunt and he paces down that right-hand side of the ground. And Mitch Moses scores a try in the corner. shares it now with Benson. Lomax on the overlap, back on the inside now. Didn't quite finish. A bouncing ball picked up by Moses, though. And Moses scores the try. What does Smith do here? He goes himself from dummy half. Breaks through some lacklustre defence and scores Parra's fourth try. This will be last play Newcastle. Down 22-0. Kick comes from the half-back. And it's been scored by Jermaine McEwen. Nice thinking from Jack Cogger. Puts in a rolling ball to the in-goal, and McEwen scores the try. Smith, open side here too. Hopgood bursting through. Matt Dury slams it down. A try in his milestone game. His 50th career game, Matt Dury. Play it to Smith. Back here, Dylan Brown. Left-hand side of Yongi. And now Russell on the way to Carr. He shows some good toe. Evades the tackle of Pierce Paul. And finds his captain running up on the inside. And Mitch Moses has a first half hat-trick.
The 2025 NRL Premiership.
On your radio, ABC Sport Digital Radio.
And on the ABC Listen app.
34-4, the Eels lead the Knights here at Western Sydney Stadium. You're with Brett Sprigg, Luke Lewis and John Gibbs with 40 minutes left of this NRL regular season. We've got a public announcement to make, Louis, on behalf of Zane Bojack. In amongst the flurry of regional grand final scores and all that coming into our text line, can we put out a shout-out for a score from the Canberra Rugby League prelim final? If Queanbeyan Kangaroos went down to Tuggeranong, then Zano won't have Sam Williams available for his co-host position on his In Zane Rugby League podcast tomorrow on the ABC Listen app. So, yeah, if Sammy Williams' team, Queanbeyan, have lost that prelim, then there's no Sammy with Zano tomorrow on his show. So can we get a score from that Canberra prelim final, please? Queanbeyan Kangaroos v Tuggeranong. Much appreciated. 0467 920 222. Some of your texts that have come in. Glenn, wishing all the best to Maury for the cricket season coming up as well, beside the great Jimmy Maxwell. Brian from Umina, the Knights fans should thank the Tigers. They gave them the opportunity to save themselves from the spoon, but alas, the Tigers' incompetence seems to be not as bad as Newcastle's. Congratulations, Knights. From a Rugby League Bush fan, full-time Group 4 GF, Moree 32 beat Gunner the 16. Yes, I think someone said earlier. Or in fact, maybe that was the half-time score, but yes, that's the full-time score there. Go the Eels, says Gwena. Miles from New Hampshire, USA. Got my tickets for the season opener in Vegas. If I run into you boys there, the first round's on me. On you, Miles. Newcastle will be there as well. So we'll see if they can at least show some sort of ticker in this second half. Luke Lewis coming up. They trail 34-4.
Yeah, well, they need to show something because that first 40 minutes was really, really embarrassing. But one thing I have seen, or I haven't seen for a long time, is a team come out and back it up. So Parramatta, they'll be very interesting to see how they play the second 40. But if they continue to play the way they were playing in that first 40, it's going to be a long, long afternoon for the Newcastle side.
Group 21 Rugby League grand final scores at Singleton. First grade Singleton 28 beat Greta Brenton 22. Reserve grade Singleton 12 beat Murrurundi. I think that's right, 8 in the under-18s. Singleton 26 beat Aberdeen 16. Women's tackle, Merriwa 14 beat Musselbrook 4. Thank you for your text. Stephen says, the internet tells me Queanbeyan won 46-24. There you go, Zano. So I think Sammy's team are through to the GF next week, and there's no Mad Monday and no interruption to In Zane Rugby League, which you can find on the ABC NRL Daily podcast feed. The Knights are back out there, by the way, here at Western Sydney Stadium. The entire ground now in shadows, and we'll finish things up here in the next hour and a half. We'll have our first look at those 4 NRL finals for next week and do our first preview of those games. Hopefully those times and dates are locked in. Spot the fact we have a fair idea. Should get confirmation at some point after full time here. John Gibbs, welcome back.
Yeah, thank you. Just on James Schiller will be activated, as we said. But the other news, I just spoke to Newcastle camp, and Adam O'Brien, in his last halftime speech, he's challenged them as men to make their tackles, their first contact. He's been very disappointed with, absolutely disappointed with. He's challenged them as individuals. Because I've got to say, 34-4 is the best it was going to be for Newcastle. Could have been more.
They tackle here off the kick-off. Newcastle defending this first set of the second half, and there's a run from Hopgood, wrapped up there by Tom Count. Yeah, Adam O'Brien, it's funny, he's actually the second longest serving coach in club history, so he's been a part of these guys' lives for a fair while. 6 seasons, 4 finals campaigns. Let's see if they can at least lift to something here in this second half. Kick from Moses, just behind the 40. Bounce down there on that left wing for Dane Gagai, and the veteran carries it across the defence there to a Lungy, and also in there Matt Dury, one of their first half try scorers for Parramatta. They're defending. Eels on the attack as Marzu slingshots his way forward. Smith tackles him, centre field 30 out. Now from dummy half here, Dom Young receives the ball and heaped back by Hopgood and also Williams, 40 out, 20 in from the eastern side here inside the first 90 seconds of this second half on ABC Sport. You are with Brett Sprigg, Luke Lewis and John Gibbs for the final game of season 2025. As I said, we'll preview our finals after full time here and, of course, recap the Dolphins win over Canberra at Dolphin Oval. Safidi play at 40 out here. Running kick now from Crossland. Goes high down towards Iongi. And the Parramatta fullback bumps here off McEwen. Darts across the line, almost dacked there by Jacob Arthur, and now carries it into Hopwood and also out there Cant and Pierce Paul. Up the left edge they go here through Josh Addo-Carr. This is play 2 now for the Parramatta Eels, who lead 34 points to 4. No change to our halftime score as yet. Dummy half Dylan Brown. Centre field run now comes from Sean Russell. Play at 35 out from his own line, northern end. Now Lomax. Tried to just catch the defence napping here, 8 short of the halfway. Brought down by Brayley. It's played now towards Smith. And now Charlie Guymer hits and spins off the Hopwood tackle on halfway. This is last play for the Parramatta Eels. Moses, high and long kick downfield. Dane Gagai takes the catch comfortably, has room to move, tries to fend away Williams, but Dylan Brown gets him, 15 out, 20 in. From the eastern side, still the Eels 34, Newcastle 4, 2.5 gone second half, ABC Sport.
Yeah, I'm watching Parramatta closely, and that set-up play that they had in the first half is still there. They're setting it up nicely, but they're just opting to go out in front at the moment to their back row. When they play at the back, again, it's going back to a 4-on-2 opportunity, but they're just trying to build this game in the second half.
Mararundai, sorry if I got that wrong. Mararundai is how you say it. There we go. 40 out from that southern end. All these country grand final scores. Fantastic. And here is Cody Hopwood, West Maitland Wallaroo, making his debut. Last play kick does come from Crossland. And the bounce here away from Lomax. And Iongi fields it. 5 out from his own line. Best makes the tackle there with Croker. 10 out, 20 in from the western side. 4 minutes played, second half. You're on ABC Sport. Lomax runs headlong into Jaden Brayley. He's Canberra bound next year. Jaden Brayley. There's a few playing their last game for the Newcastle Knights, not just the coach coaching his last game. Smith with a break here, 30 out. Now plays it quickly to Zach Lomax. Offloads back here for Moses. Some run now from Dylan Brown. Over halfway he goes. Shares it with Williams. Takes on Kai Pierce-Paul. Makes light work of Jacob Arthur. Still going. Williams cut open here as well, so he's bleeding. Still playing it now, 25 out from that southern end. Smith, flat ball Moses. Kicks now for Addo-Carr on the end of it. And slides it to score the try. Oh, that was wonderful. Good celebration there from the Fox as well. And he scores his 17th try of the season. And the Eels start strong second half, 38-4. Kick to come, Parramatta. 4.5 played. Second half, ABC Sport with this man, Luke Lewis.
Yeah, Addo-Carr's been on fire the last couple of weeks with try scoring, but Mitch Moses, he's just got the ball on the string today. He's doing everything right. Running, he's passing, and then beautiful little kick here. He can see where Addo-Carr is, where he's coming from. It just gets that weight absolutely perfect. And Addo-Carr lands it on his chest. He gets up and does his nice little dance. He's having a time of his life with Addo-Carr. Beautiful smile on his face as well. Great try.
On the touchline, John Gibbs.
Yeah, great communication between Moses and Addo-Carr. His 17th try. By the way, that's the most he's scored in the season since 2021 when he scored 23 with the Melbourne Storm. So this has been a really good year since coming from the Bulldogs.
That was 2 clubs ago, wasn't it, Gibbsy? Thank you for that. Happy Father's Day to Scotty G, says one correspondent. Thank you for that. Davo Sims beat Forbes Magpies 23-22 after extra time. Then Golden Point in the Peter McDonald Premiership. Groups 10-11 combined competition. Cheers from the Hairless Chook in Canberra. Thank you, Hairless Chook. 0467 920 222. Lomax lines up the ball here on the tee. 21 metres out and 5 in from the eastern side. I wonder whether they should display a large picture of a wooden spoon on the scoreboard to try to motivate Newcastle to do the right thing for their fans, says Niam. There we go. Yeah, a lot of text coming in with country grand final scores and the like. 38-4, kick to come. Here is that kick from Lomax. He's 5 from 6 so far this afternoon. Lays into it, comes across, a little too far across, waved away. And he's 5 from 7. It remains Para 38, Newcastle 4. Around the grounds, by the way, there's the AFLW first quarter. West Coast and Port Adelaide earlier. Geelong beat Essendon by 58-27, and North Melbourne 58 beat Collingwood 13. But other than that, I'll go through all the other grades, rugby league, a little later on. Of course, we'll also preview our 4 NRL finals once this game is done. Anyway, good crowd in. Let me just say this here, Louis, it's probably, wouldn't be, maybe 15, 20. Short kick-off, just goes 10 metres. Arrives there for Kai Pearce-Paul. I'm terrible at guessing crowd numbers. Now, hang on. He's gone to play it, and it's going to be a penalty here in Newcastle. So it's Matt Dury who's been pinged here. As we'll hear from Ref White Raymond.
Captain's challenge, Liam. On-field ruling is ruck interference and contributes to the breakdown.
So we'll hear from Liam Kennedy in the bunker.
Sean Russell has cleared the ruck, and then Kai knocks the ball on. There is no ruck interference.
There we go. Successful challenge. Parramatta. Sean Russell falsely accused Luke Lewis.
Yep, well, Sean knew, Adokar knew, and they caught out Mitch Moses, and he ran over and backed him and got the call right. And everything's going Parramatta's way at the moment.
One text here says, RIP Mercury, long reef legend. Yeah, Gibbsy mentioned that tragic situation yesterday at Northern Beaches with that shark attack. Of course, Gibbsy lives close by and knows that community very well. Thank you for that text. John and Harrington talking about the Andrew Moore interview as well. Going to Father's Day lunch with my wife, and all of you have been so curious how he's going after his heart attack. And yes, that was a fantastic interview. Very raw, very emotional. As they bring the footy away from the right-hand side of the field here, Parramatta, Will Bensony. You can hear that chat with Maury, which Michael Carianas conducted on our ABC NRL Daily podcast feed. The full chat there with Maury stands alone. He won it pretty easily. He has gone inside Newcastle's half here. A full set now inside that Knights half of the ground. Dylan Brown off to Iongi, and now Russell straightens in to Kai Pearce-Paul. Offloads back to Adokar. He chips and chases. Who's there? The Fox again on the bounce from his own kick and scores back-to-back tries in the game. Oh, it's vintage Fox. 42-4, kick to come, Parramatta. We've only played 7 minutes into the second half, Luke Lewis.
Oh, it's so good to watch. I was a bit worried about Parramatta coming out in the second half, but they're going to continue on with what they were doing in the first half. But they are continuing on. They're setting up those plays nicely. And then Russell goes over that left edge. He gets tackled, but he wants to keep the ball alive. And Adokar just uses his speed, notices no one there at fullback, gets the kick perfect, gets a beautiful bounce. And Hopgood was laying up there as well. He thought he was going to get the bounce, but gets a double there. Adokar back-to-back. Beautiful work there.
The speakers are playing fast car, Gibbsy. It's fast. Adokar, down to you.
Yeah, absolutely magnificent. And the crowd, by the way, 20,359. Adokar now becomes the second player in Parramatta history to score 3 doubles. The other was Clint Gutherson. So 23,359 is that crowd. And just by the way, while he's lining up this kick, they've changed things because of the Category 1 head injuries to Fletcher Hunt and Jack Cogger. Gagai's fullback. You've got Crossland and Arthur and Hales and Jaden Bailey hooker.
Notice that. Thank you,
What are they looking at here?
They're looking at something.
Because they nearly touched each other, Hopgood and Adokar. I think that's the only thing.
It's approved.
Anyway, here's Lomax. He is 10 metres out. A very slight angle left-hand side. 6 from 7 so far this afternoon. This is for 44-4. And the punishment continues here for the lads from the Hunter. 8 minutes played, second half. Still a fair way to go, Luke Lewis, in this game. And the Eels are showing no signs of slowing down.
We get to 60.
Yeah. What was that score, Gibbsy? That record score, Para over Newcastle?
91-6.
No,
50 nil, 91-6, the all-time record
We're going to
score.
smash that.
50 nil, so it's 50 points, it's 40. Yeah, absolutely. This will be the biggest win by Parramatta over Newcastle, and the irony is they're going to swap 5/8.
Yes, indeed. That's another curious sort of plot point around here. Short kick-off. Gagai leaping up low. Max wins it back for Parramatta, and he's called immediately by Thomas Cant. They're away here, left-hand side break. Fed back here from Russell to Iongi, and he goes to ground. 35 out, 20 in from the eastern side. 44-4 is the Eels lead here over the Knights. Centre field Moses. Inside ball now, Junior Barlaw. Slam down. Middle of the park, 30 out from Newcastle's line. Smith on play two now, Moses to the gap to Alungi. Crossland in the back of him. 20 out. 13 in from the western side. Smith, Barlaw. Geimer, Iongi on the bounce. It does sit up down there for Williams, and three Knights meet him. 20 out, 20 in eastern side. Second last play, Parramatta. Geimer runs the footy here, gets past Fafiti, and Gagai feeds it back to Junior Barlaw, who scores his first try of the campaign in game number 24. It's party time here at Western Sydney Stadium, if not already. 48-4, kick to come Eels with half an hour left on the clock.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. But Geimer, he was scoring for sure, but he knows his teammate is on the nudie run, so he comes up with a nice little gift for him. That is just soft from Newcastle. It's just a simple little run, throws a dummy, slides straight through. They go touch, but the referee didn't hear it. And then Junior Barlaw scores a nice little simple try right next to the post. 48-4, kick to come, 30 minutes on the clock.
Throw to Gibbsy for me.
Go to Gibbsy. Coming down to you, Gibbsy.
Well, I kid you not, Adam O'Brien, his last halftime speech, challenged his players to man up. He was quite critical of their effort and commitment. Well, it's time for him to go. I know that he's given it away and he's going. Maybe some of those that were going to coach, maybe they've pulled their applications, and there is no truth in the rumour that James Schiller has put his blue bib back on.
Okay, thank you, Gibbsy. So I mentioned those previous four games. Average of 44 points Newcastle let in. Of course, they've passed it already here. And here you go, the Eels. Lomax directly in front for the 50. There's the half century. 50 points to 4. Still 29-40 left in the game, Louis.
We could legit, dead set, get the record here. I've got a feeling we might get it. Oh. That's only, 12 points every 10 minutes?
As one texter said, when you start talking about it, that's what doesn't happen.
Yeah, well, we're going to define that.
0467920222. Tiger Matt says, how are Newcastle going to Vegas? Surely if you finish bottom, you should be ineligible. I'd go as far as saying that, well, they determine these things beforehand, at least, Matt. As far as saying that no club that finishes outside the top 10 should be eligible. Something that needs to be done to stop players going over the last game of the season the way that Newcastle have. So de-incentivise the... take away the incentive there. I suppose at some point, look, it's a 5-year deal, and every club will have to go at some point. Theoretically, that's how it's sort of structured. Anyway, De Silva dummy half, he's out there for the Eels. And now on this play, Lomax was forced all the way back here, 20 out to his own line. Tuolungi up that right edge, takes on McEwen. It is come out of 50, Newcastle 4. Open side left shift, here they go. Geimer, Dylan Brown, good spread here for the Eels. Iongi trying to cut back on the inside, run down from behind by Jacob Arthur. Play it 8 metres short of the halfway line, and Hopgood tries to get something going here for the Parramatta Eels. Tackleton playing it now. De Silva dummy half to his captain Moses. High ball off the instep down here towards Greg Marju. Takes the catch, does the Newcastle winger. Takes on to Alungi and Bensony, but stopped 20 out and 15 in from the western side. 28 minutes left in the game. It's the Eels 50, Knights 4. How high can this score get? Bradman Best. 6 tries this year for him. His 17 appearances, now 18th today. Now Dom Young. He's De Silva in his wake, but Hopgood stops him in his track, 30 out centre field. Dummy half Brayley on this 4th play here for Newcastle. And now here they go, approaching the halfway now with Safidi. Whaley, Crossan runs the ball here. Left-hand side, Arthur has no real support there on the inside or outside, so Moses stops him. 5 inside Eels territory, last play Newcastle. Whaley fires it right-hand side for Crossland. Up it goes. They've only got 15 minutes. It's a very high ball, though. Bounce back there on the 40-metre line. Back here now for Kai Pearce ball. Takes on Dylan Brown. Slung a full 360. Flick pass. Miss Schiller. Picked off by Hopgood here. The Eels are away. So, by the way, possession 62%. Didn't check that until now. I mean, haven't had to because the scoreboard tells the story anyway. Here's Junior Barlaw, who's slammed the turf, beat her inside Newcastle territory. On play 3 here for the home side, Parramatta. Moses. And now to Alangi. Quick gain of 10. Forced back there by Crossan. Play at 5 inside Newcastle's half to Silva. With a short pass in close there again now for Geimer. And he's tackled 35 out centre field. This is the second last play here for the Parramatta Eels to Silva. Brown, Barlaw. He's offloading here. Back here now for his fullback Iongi. Tackled now by Tom Cant and Cody Hopwood. 20 out middle of the park here for Parramatta Eels, who lead 50 points to 4. Last play kick from Moses. Running kick. And Mazu leaps through the air, brings it away. Shrugs one tackle. Out in some space. Wrong foot's Moses. Run down from behind there by the fullback Iongi. That was Benson. He got him down there in the end. So Newcastle make that break. Croker stops 7 short of the halfway. On play 2 here for the Knights. Dummy half Whaley. Cross to Gagai. Right hand side shift. Then a kick now from Arthur trying to find Dom Young. Josh Adokar knocks it back towards his own goal line now. And then Young piles on him. The Fox will play at 25 out from that northern line. 12 in from the eastern side. Sean Russell again. Big clash of bodies there. You hear him come off Cody Hopwood. He'll play at 30 out. 50 points to 4 is the Eels lead here over Newcastle. There is still 25 minutes and change left in this game. Lomax collared there by Crossland, and the footy's come loose out the back.
Held on 3, tries to offload, tackle 3.
So time off and now back on there. Referee Wyatt Raymond, Talon de Silva. Quick ball there for Hopgood, first receiver. He only gains half a dozen here now for the Parramatta Eels. Played de Silva. Came across mid-year from West Tigers, of course. And now to Alangi, who's claimed 10 in from the western side. Right smack bang on halfway here as Moses on the last play. High, wobbly, spiralling ball. Sets a task for Gagai. Takes a clean catch. 12 out from his own line. Takes on Russell and Adokar on that left edge defence. And they'll start a new set near the Newcastle Knights, who trail 50 points to 4, Louis. 15 gone second half.
Yeah, Parramatta have just tightened up a little bit at the moment, coming out of their own end. They're just sort of throwing a couple of passes that we haven't seen them throw so far this afternoon. But if they just get back to basics, there's plenty of room out wide. Again, you can see the fatigue in the Newcastle Knights at the moment, especially with the ball in hand. They've got no shape. They're struggling to get ball carriers out there at the moment.
So here they go. Over halfway, Bradman Best. Got rid of Lomax. Out in some space now, Bradman Best takes on Iongi. He was dragged down there. Good double team there for Iongi and also de Silva. Best will play at 30 out centre field. Second last play, Newcastle. Shift it right now. Gagai cuts it out here for Schiller. Back now again to Kai Pearce Paul. Swats away Williams. Still going Kai Pearce Paul. This will be last play Newcastle. 12 out from Para's line. 50 points to 4 the scoreline here at Western Sydney Stadium. Running kick from Arthur. Across the goal mouth here. One down back here to Newcastle. Crossland to Mazu. Scrolls in easily. And just falls over the line and scores a try for the Newcastle Knights. So just a misread there from the Eels on that right edge. Allowed the Newcastle try to Greg Mazu for his 6th occasion this year. And it's 50 points to 8. Kick to come, Newcastle.
Yeah, it just comes down to a really simple miss. One-on-one miss there with Will Benson on Bradman Best. He is a great ball carrier when he gets the ball in his hand, but he hardly ever gets it. Paul Bradman Best out there on that left edge of Newcastle, and then they get a cross-field kick. Benson again just can't come up for the catch, bounces out, and all of a sudden lands in Newcastle's hands. Just a simple 2-on-1. Mazu dives over. He's been good for Newcastle, Mazu. At least he's running hard every time he gets the the ball. He runs hard. He's getting back in position, but he gets a try for his hard work.
Touchline we go, John Gibbs.
Yeah, and we've had 250 tries brought up this afternoon. That's the 50th try there for Greg Marzu, and he can score a try. Hasn't scored as many as he normally does. This has been low by his standards, but well done, because that's 50 tries in just 87 matches.
Here is Dane Gagai, who's 22 out from that northern end and 3 metres in from that western side. Setting sun behind him on the approach. Left foot kick, curves around, over it goes. 2 more points there for Newcastle. 50 points to 10 is the scoreline here. 18 going second half. Shell Bell from Gundagai has sent us, could you please say this for me? Congratulations to Gundagai Adelong under 16, who won the Group 9 championships yesterday against Turvey Tumba. 20 points to 18, with Gundagai Adelong scoring the winning try in the last minute. This is the first time in 15 years that a Gundagai team has taken out the Sullivan Cup. We're all very proud of these Tigers. Thanks. Thank you, Shell Bell, for that. Angry Waller says disgraceful performance from the Newcastle Knights. Total respect. How can we take the rugby league serious when the players are treated us with such contempt on such scores we've seen this weekend, says John from Perth. Oh, I mean, I can't say it's not the players' fault. It is the players' fault in a lot of ways, but yes, well, I don't know if it reflects on the game more broadly, Louis. We have seen some blowouts this year. But yes, thank you, John, for your text. Dom Young from the kickoff, 15 out from his own line, played there to Arthur, and now Schiller was the 18th man. We saw Fletcher Hunt and Jack Hogger foul HIA's category 1s, which is why Schiller's out there. Now it's going to be penalty going Newcastle's way.
Yeah, De Silva couldn't help himself, just gives him a push, gives away a penalty. Newcastle will get a nice little easy leg up, go down the other end of the field. But I tell you what, Newcastle, I mean, Parramatta definitely switched off at the moment. Their mindset, obviously, looking up at the scoreboard, being up by so many points, but they can still really enjoy this afternoon for the next 20 minutes and just be a little bit more patient.
Last moments of this regular season as Newcastle goes on the attack. Play 2 against Parramatta. 30 out from that northern line. Tackled and playing it now as Hotwood on debut. Dummy half Brayley. Now Arthur Gagai. Almost was caught his own forward pass there, Gagai.
I think you're allowed to do that.
So, and now, well, I suppose it's just like dropping the ball, but you recovered it, so that's okay. 10 out from that Eels line. 20 in western side. Brayley across here again now for Tom Cant. He's 7 shy of that Parramatta line. Brayley shares it with Crossland. Now Gagai. Russell gets him down low, up top, making the tackle is Jordan Samrani. This is last play Newcastle. Through hands it comes right to left. Now the kick from Arthur, launching off the goal line. Lomax wins it back for Parramatta, and he's out in some space now. Shrugs away Cant, gets rid of Brayley. Lomax still going Lomax. 22 out from his own line, northern end. The Eels keep a 50 points to 10 lead, Luke Lewis. Here they go, Samrani. They're going to come back here, so it's worth
Yeah, good run there by Zach Lomax. Great take. Skipped across the field nicely. He's so strong, Zach Lomax. Got really good footwork. Got this really nice bump as well. You see so many players come out the back end when they try and tackle Zach Lomax up high. So you've got to get down low on him.
Red V in Brisbane says the ref of this game is my pick for the grand final. Hopefully the grand final is a better spectacle than this one as far as competitive spectacle. 40 out from that northern line here. Eels on the attack to Silva, play 4. He finds Tuolungi, gains half a dozen. Tackled by Safiti and also Cant. Eels continue here, right to left. Dylan Brown gets the pass off. It's been lost by Samrani. Knock on Parramatta. Double knock on there, so it's going to be a scrum feed. Newcastle somewhere near halfway, slightly in that southern half of Western Sydney Stadium. 50 points to 10 is the Eels lead here. 20 gone, 20 left in the second half. John Gibbs on the touchline.
Yeah, not the best ball out from Dylan Brown. He put Jordan Samrani under a lot of pressure, but they've clocked off a little bit here, Parramatta. They should get back into gear and they can score some more points because, as I said, 50 is the biggest margin between these two sides. At the moment, it's only 40.
You have an opinion, Gibbs. Who's your ref for the grand final this year?
I'd be tossing up between Graham Atkins and Ashley Klein.
Graham Atkins?
Grant.
Yeah,
I've got a flashback to here.
Yeah, I know, I was going to say.
Graham's the father who played here at Parramatta, but Grant Atkins, I think he's doing a great job, or Ashley Klein, who's Very reliable.
Thanks, Gibbsy. 40 out from that northern line here. Knights on the attack. Cant. And now a flat ball in close to Pierce Paul. Came from Arthur. 30 out, 20 in, eastern side. How hard was that? Just gave me a pin on the refs. See, it's nice and easy, Louis. Here's Hopwood. Stands here in the tackle of Dylan Walker. Offloads back here for Brayley. And now Cant takes off. This is still play for Newcastle. Rolled back here to Pierce Paul. Swing it across now, Crossland. And now Bradman Best. He kicks and chases. Xiaomi is there for the Eels. The fullback tackled right edge. Oh no, shrugs away one. And then Croker stops him in concert with Frizzell making sure of it. Cant was in there as well. 25 out. Eels go on the attack. 50 points to 10 their lead. 18 and a half left in the second half.
That was a nice little bit of work there from Xiaomi at fullback. Gets the ball, beats a couple of Newcastle players, runs 15 metres, gets the Parramatta side up the other end. But here's a nice offload now from Zach Lomax.
Comes back to Dylan Brown, and he's stopped on halfway by Hopwood and also Frizzell and Brayley. Play 4 here, Parramatta, 50 points to 10 their lead. Dylan Walker, half break, but Brayley gets him. This is 35 out. Freshly painted Luke Lewis line there, 35 metres out from that southern line. Here's Moses, off here to Alangi, catch and no release as he's swarmed on by Crossland. Is Moses still down?
Yeah, he's just a little copy. I think he was just laying down a bit of a rest there.
It's going to be penalty going the Eels' way as well. 50 points to 10 off the SMS. Will Parra declare, and so the Knights back into bat, says Steve in the Sunshine Coast. Well, it is cricket season coming up, Steve, and we thought this score might get cricket-like as well. 50 points to 10, 17:40 left in this second half. John Gibbs.
Yeah, hit off the ball there, Mitchell Moses. You're right, he might have been winded a little bit, but took them a while to get onto it. Dane Gagai, the skipper, arguing the toss with Wyatt Raymond. And Wyatt Raymond's developed nicely as a referee this year as well. Mitch Moses, though, he's up at his 30, he'll ping this western touchline, and they'll be on the attack, and I think they'll be back into point-scoring mode in about 1 minute.
You know what they call Wyatt Raymond, Gibbsy, his fellow referees? Bin chicken.
Bin chicken.
There we go.
Why is that? Because he's tall and... I don't know.
Maybe.
Got a long neck.
Eats out of the garbage. I don't think so. 50 points to 10. They tap 25 out here. Barlaw. Did the funny stuff to Gibbsy. 20 out right hand side of the post. Para 50, Newcastle 10. The Silver dummy half. Left hand side shift now. Walker. Inside ball comes from Brown. Back to Samrani. And he's got a try last time these sides met Samrani. To get one here, I'm sure. Last game of the season. Hopgood carries it here, stands in the tackle of Hopwood. There we go. They're involved in the same play. Ball back here for the Silver. Back short side left. And now Dylan Brown. Swung by Kai Pierce-Paul. The Silver runs by, receives, takes on Schiller. Put down deep in that southeastern corner of the ground. This is second last play. Para 50 points to 10 their lead. Open side right they come. Brown. And now again Walker. Fires it back to Moses. Tulangi just tips it back. It's still second last play here for Parramatta. Jinking run now from Will Bensony. Stopped by Thomas Camp. 25 out, 20 in Western touch. 16 left in this game. Eels lead by a total of 40 points. Charge down here by Crossland on the Moses kick. Bounce back here though for Frizzell. He was first to it. And Newcastle go back on the attack just short of halfway.
Wow, that's all I can say is wow, that bounce. They got a nice charge down. The bounce up and over 3 players and ended up in Tyson Frizzell's hand. But Parramatta, they just look a little bit scattered at the moment in attack. They look so fluent before. Now they're just sort of, I don't know, making it up.
There'll be no record score today. The Knights will be condemned to the wooden spoon of 2025 for the 5th time in their history and 9 straight losses to Adam O'Brien's last year in charge. Tom Can, 40 out centre field. Rob Hartman of the Sunshine Coast says all the best to Andrew Moore and keep up magnificent work, boys. Thank you, Rob. As they go left to right here, the Newcastle Knights. Gagai gets rid of Brown, not so Russell. He stands there in this tackle, 35 out. Last play Newcastle, who trail 50 points to 10. End of the set, kick from Arthur. Hangs there a fair while. Lomax launches 10 out from his own line and brings it down here. He's tackled by Celeste Luamayana and 15 metres out from that northern line here for the Parramatta Eels. 15 minutes left in the game, indeed in this regular season. You on ABC Sport. You're with Brett Sprigg, Luke Lewis and John Gibbs. NRL Rugby game happening here next between Parramatta and the West Tigers. It's fed back here to the Silver. Got the offload. Now on play 3, Iongi, Walker. Tried to shuffle away there from Celeste Luamayana, and he'll play it 5 short of the halfway here for the Eels. Now it's come to Junior Barlaw. He scored his first try. In fact, it was their most recent try scorer in the game, Junior Barlaw. After Addo Carr's double, Mitch Moses hat-trick. There's Moses. Feeds it right-hand side now. Off to Tuolangi. He's 30 out, 20 in from the western side. 14 left in this second half as the unofficial light takes over here at Western Sydney Stadium. Moses. Off one step. The kick goes up here. Gagai. Lomax in through the air. Shoves it back there for Benson, who knocks on. Almost there for the Eels, but not quite the finish as we head back to the touchline for John Gibbs.
Yeah, well, Will Benson, his 100th game, he's down. He might have hurt his shoulder here, but he wasn't ready. Lomax, that was a magnificent take. Lomax was on his knees, crawling towards the line, flicked it back, and Benson, he wasn't ready. He wasn't alive. You've always got to be ready for the ball. That should have been a try to Benson.
To be fair, I reckon Zach Lomax, if he had his time over again, he probably got up and ran himself as well. He had plenty of time, but that was an outstanding take from Lomax.
On the attack they go here, the Newcastle Knights, trailing 50 points to 10 at the hands of the Parramatta Eels. 20,359 the crowd here at Western Sydney Stadium. Final game of NRL season 2025. Of course, finals beckoning from Friday night onwards. Here's Frizzell. 35 out from that southern line. Played here, dummy half, Brayley. It's come off the back there to Langy, so it's not played it, of course. It'll bounce back for Dane Gagai on this second last play. And he's tackled by Moses and Bensony. 5 in from that western side, 35 out from his own line. Best off here to Phoenix Crossland. Last play kick down towards Isaiah Iongi. Reminder, Newcastle have lost 2 players to category 1 HIA symptoms, so Fletcher Hunt, Jack Cogger ruled out in that first half. That's why James Schiller is out there. And Josh Addo-Carr, an angled run in through centre field here where the Fox scored back-to-back tries in this second half, but there's been some sting taken out of the game in recent times, Louis.
Yeah, it's got a little bit boring compared to what it was before.
That's a good word. Walker dummies the pass. Over halfway he goes. Frizzell meets him in concert with Celeste Luamayana, and he'll play it now to Silva. Dylan Brown. Angled ball here back to Russell. Tackled by Schiller. In concert with Arthur. 30 out, 10 in from that eastern side. Barlaw, left to right again, they shape it now. Parramatta, Tuolangi, back here to Iongi, and now intercepted by Marzu, but knocked on. So that will be a scrum feed for Parramatta, who lead 50 points to 10, 11:45 left in this game of footy. John Gibbs on the touchline.
Yeah, and that was an easy one there for Marzu. He should have been scoring second try because Iongi gave him a gift, and unfortunately he didn't take advantage. Now, you wrote down that score the first time. I said it a little bit too quickly. We ripped them off 3,000. It is 23,359.
Okay.
My bad.
You did clarify, didn't you? But I wasn't listening the second time. 23,359. Thank you, Gibbsy, for the Eels' last home game of season 24, the last game full stop of 2025. As Moses receives it right-hand side of the scrum. Darts here on the tackle of Croker, tackled 18 out, right-hand side of the post to Silva. Off here again now as it's fed from Walker to Barlaw. Can't get the arm free for the offload. 9 away from the Newcastle line. 50-10, the Eels lead. Brown, catch and release to Moses. Tipped on here, Iongi to Lomax, but it was tipped on, as in forward. And so it'll be a Newcastle ball, 10 out from their own line, southern end, in front of the Brett Kenny stand here at Western Sydney Stadium. 50 points to 10. It shall remain. 10 and a half left, Luke Lewis.
Yeah, I thought Mitch Moses was going to throw it over the top. He threw a little Harbour Bridge pass there. I reckon he would have hit Zach Lomax. Would have been a foot race to the corner. But Iongi looks up. He sees Greg Marzu in the line. He just couldn't get that pass. And it was a nice shot. Good read there from Marzu as well.
Listen, high-scoring games today, Louis. 62-24 at Dolphin Oval, 50-10 here. Still 10 minutes left at Western Sydney Stadium. So it'll be Newcastle scrum. However, no, it'll be scrum penalty and going Newcastle's way.
Can they find touch?
Penalty count, by the way, in this game. For those interested, it is now 4-3 the way the Newcastle Knights. And it's been 2-1 the set restart Parramatta's way, for what it's worth. It's not worth much in the last 9.5 minutes of the regular season. Offload here comes back to Briley. Newcastle can burst away. Frizzell takes on to Silva, Soto, Hopgood and Walker. 40 out from that southern line. Crossland receives it. On here to Celeste Luamayana, and he's brought down 20 in from the western side on that halfway stripe now. Briley, open side right, off to Crossland. Back on the inside to Frizzell, and he's claimed 40 outs in a field. Quayle on this fourth play. Crossland shifts it to the right now. Kai Pearce-Paul, who's West Tigers bound next year, the Englishman, runs into Russell. And also Samrani, 30 out. Right to left, they come back once more. Safiti, who's covered there by 3 Para defenders. 30 outs in the field. Last play, Newcastle. Whaley finds Arthur off a step. His kick hangs there for his teammate Dom Young. Russell slapped it away. Loose ball kicked by Schiller. Fielded down there by Youngie. And the Parramatta fullback skips away. But he's claimed here 25 out from his own line. So, new set starts here for the Eels. 50-10 the scoreline here at a 23,000 strong Western Sydney Stadium. 30 out now, Damien Harper. Silver, no, it was lost. In the play the ball. No, it's got Newcastle. It's a penalty going from his way.
Challenge.
And I will challenge it, Newcastle.
Captain's challenge, Liam. On-field ruling is ruck interference with the foot.
I've got to clear it out.
I'll rule on it.
Dan Gay guy goes over and talks to the ref, trying to tell him what to look at. He goes, mate, they'll rule on it. But his foot is in there. Foot comes back. Interference. Bad challenge. No noise, no bunker noise at the moment.
No, Liam Kennedy's just pondering things. Well, he'd be a grand final bunker.
Zach Lomax is playing the ball. Phoenix Crossland's foot comes back through the ruck. The captain's challenge is unsuccessful.
Thank you, LK.
You're right, mate.
Let's go to JG. John Gibbs.
Yeah, that's their last challenge for the year, mercifully.
Yes, that's a good point. 0467920222. Ty from Harrington says enjoying epic Father's Day afternoon with a fire pit and snacks in the front yard with the family. Loving the call, giving a shout out to the Mini Waters mod. Good on you, Ty from Harrington. Fine touch on the western side here. Parramatta Eels 50 points to 10. We'll tap 40 out from Newcastle's line. Did that guy hit that last conversion? Yes. I'm trying to fill in my book here from last time. I only have 3 lines left, by the way. I'm a scrapbook here, so not too much more scoring. Walker, left-hand side, Brown, off to Youngie, and now O'Kara sees the ball from Russell and sprints to the line to score his 3rd try. Josh O'Kara in great form of late. The recent 200 gamer scores his 3rd try this afternoon. 54-10, kick to come, Eels.
Yep, well, there's the moon shining out there. Beautiful try there from Parramatta. And really nice skill here from Parramatta. Just a simple shift over. Dylan Walker plays a big hand just to get the ball to, who was that? Was that Dylan Brown? Yeah, it was. And just a quick little tip on it. It was just through the hands. It was like a training run. And just get Addo-Carr at full flight down the sideline. You're never going to catch him. It was beautiful skill there from Parramatta. 54-10, kick to come.
John Gibbs.
Louis, you've got me into it. So where's the moon? I can't see. Where's that
behind the Eastern Grandstand, the Michael Cronin stand.
Okay.
It is full.
Okay, that's fantastic because that's our out of my vision at the moment. Josh Adokar, 3 tries. He's a freak here, and they love him at Western Sydney Stadium. And just by the way, the match race against Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow, I don't know, it's going to be a one-horse race because he's the only one left now.
We said that MCL earlier for Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow out of Dolphin Oval. By the way, it's Adokar's first hat-trick since round 6 last year for Canterbury against his old side Melbourne. So that was a losing cause that day. 3 tries here, 54-10 kick to come. 6 minutes left here as Lomax lines up the ball, 22 out, metre or so in from the eastern side to make it 56-10. Here he is, right foot kick on its way, over it goes. Para 56, Newcastle 10 here on ABC Sports. So hat-tricks for Mitch Moses and Josh Adokar in this game. Your text welcome 0467 920 222. But a few texts coming through here with country scores here. Can't get to all of them. Loving the call, boys. Can I get a shout out for the Corindi Lions Rugby Club, who broke a 33-year premiership drought, beating Moree at Moree in the Central North Grand Final yesterday. Cheers, Spud. On your Spud. So league and rugby scores from right across the nation. And thank you to David from Country New South Wales as well, sending his texts. Giving his best to Andrew Moore, 20 out centre field from that northern end. 5:45 left. If you missed MC's chat with Maury, it's on our website, abc.net.au/sport, or indeed in the ABC NRL Daily Podcast feed, where tomorrow you'll find our first preview of all 4 of next week's finals. Here's Dylan Walker, 8 short of the halfway here. The Parramatta Eels, who lead 56-10 here on their home deck at Western Sydney Stadium. The last 5 minutes and 20 seconds of this regular season, which will see Newcastle condemned as wooden spooners. De Silva off to Barlaw. Moses up that right-hand side to Alungi, gains a few more. Balls come looser in the Crossland tackle. And that will be penalty. Parramatta raked, said ref White Raymond. So 56-10 with 4:55 left here. Back to the sideline, John Gibbs.
So that's the problem if you lose your captain's challenge. I don't think there was a strip there. White Raymond looked across the line and saw the ball come free. Tuolanga had lost it, so he assumes it's been raked. Well, it hadn't been raked, and the Newcastle players are shaking their heads. But nevertheless, that, by the way, that's the biggest score. So the 50-0 was the biggest score and the biggest difference. Well, we got less than 50 difference, but we have got the biggest score ever scored between these two sides.
Speaking of big things, here's Junior Barlaw, plays a 25 out centre field. De Silva off to Walker and Brown. Sort of dummy to wide pass, then went in close to Semrani. And Semrani's 15 away from Newcastle's line, left-hand side of the post. De Silva, inside ball, Walker back to Williams, pressing his way into Safiti, Frizzell and Gagai. He's 2.5 shy of that left-hand goalpost cutting. De Silva goes from dummy half. What was going on there with Newcastle's defence? There was no one within metres of Talon De Silva, who in fact scores his first try as a Parramatta Eel. Came across mid-year from West Tigers, and he joined the party here at Paradise. 60-10, kick to come, Para with 3:50 left. Luke Lewis on ABC Sport.
Well, it's funny, you could see De Silva looking at this space for about 3 seconds before he opted to run there, and then he goes, all right, wait, and off I go, and I'm going to beat Tyson Frizzell. And you got Kai Pearce ball, he just goes up and out, doesn't even look what the dummy half is doing, and that's just soft defence once again. Simple try out of dummy half. Only gets touched there, Dallin De Silva.
Touchline, John Gibbs.
Well, Andrew Moore has put a smile on our face today when we heard he's doing a lot better and had his interview with Michael Carianos. Well, hopefully Andrew's listening and we can put a smile on his face, because Talon De Silva went from dummy half and there wasn't anyone within cooey.
I almost went there, Gibbsy. Almost went there. That's one of Maury's favourites, isn't it? But yes, that was just, again, pathetic defence from Newcastle. They will give up their, we mentioned their defensive lapses, and this will be another hefty margin. 60 points to 10 and growing. And now this will be Dylan Brown's last kick here, you would think.
If he kicks it.
As a Parramatta Eels, well, it's his last kick anyway.
Yeah, but if he does kick it, they get the biggest score as well.
Yes, 62 to 10 potentially here. Of course, he's playing with this mob next year. What's he thinking right now, Dylan Brown? $13 million over 10 years. That's a nice price tag, but gee whiz, Newcastle's got problems, and no coach has yet for next year. Misses Dylan Brown.
He did that on purpose.
On the angle from 15 out. So it is remaining 60. Was he aware of the record, do you reckon?
Yeah.
Why, yeah. 60 points to 10. Dylan Brown misses. None from one. And there is 2.5 minutes left here. Mitch asks, I was just wondering if the Ken Irvine medal will change name when his record is beaten. I wouldn't have thought so. That's, of course, the record for the most tries in the season, which Michael Rinsuaze has won. But I think it would be a nice legacy for him to have, regardless of whether Alex Johnston, well, he will next year. But I don't think the medal should change with it. Just keep that there for perpetuity. As Williams receives it here and hits it up off Celeste Luamana, and he'll play it 20 out, tipping in from the eastern side here at Western Sydney Stadium. The silver dummy half off to Sam Rani. 2 minutes and 10 seconds left, and the end of the season, a full-time hooter can't come quick enough for the Newcastle Knights. Moses. Right-hand side shift here, Lomax. Shoves away Crossland. Darts back in field now. Too quick for Safiti. Stopped there, though, by Frizzell. 7 short of the halfway. Would have been former Dragons teammates, I'm pretty sure, or maybe not. Here's Dallin De Silva. Gains a quick dozen now. And the break on Croker. Powers toward the line. Gagai brings him down. Great chase from Dane Gagai on Talon De Silva. Played, though, 5 out. Walker to Benson in his milestone game. And he scores a try. No, maybe not. Let's have a listen.
Okay, so you're starting professional foul. Video review. Liam, we have no try. We're starting professional foul for an offside 10 metres and then into the knock-on.
Bit to work through here with 90 seconds left.
I can't release him there. You can't do that.
That's a defensive decision by the Newcastle player.
I think knock on there.
Yeah.
Gets knocked out by Tyson himself. Hits it there.
But he's scoring. He's scoring a try though.
Yeah, he's allowed to do that. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's going to be knock on, but
The on-field ruling of Tyson Frizzell as being offside.
So he must have got back to the line.
Tyson Frizzell affects the tackle, who is offside. In our opinion, a try would have been scored for not mistake.
Yep.
Will Benson in his milestone game. 64-10, kick to come, Parramatta. Down the sideline, John Gibbs.
Well, that's all the records now, and Benson in his 100th game, he ices it there. That was the thing. When Ryan Raymer was calling professional foul, if it was, there was always going to be a penalty try because he's in an offside position, and except for him playing at the ball, he would have scored for sure and certain. He almost scored before Benson, but on that occasion he did. And what about the form in the last 10 minutes from Talon De Silva? He's been scintillating, like Quicksilver.
Monia Gibbsy, minute and 4 seconds left here. Mike says this will be Dylan Brown's last win for the next 10 years. Look, I'm hopeful for my Newcastle friends. They'll turn things around. But, yeah, it's a long way back from here, isn't it, at the moment? This will be their biggest margin, too, of the year by fair way. So 64-10 and growing here because Dylan Brown is directly in front, 11 metres out. To make it 66-10 with 28 seconds on the clock. He's Newcastle bound next year. He scores his last points for the Parramatta Eel, Dylan Brown. The Eels go 66-10 as we approach full time.
Well, Parramatta haven't even gone back to the kickoff because there's still 14 seconds left on the clock, and they thought it was going to be game over. And And then Mitch Moses is going over to negotiate, just kick it dead. He's gone over to dead set, gone over to Dan Gagai and said, just kick it dead. Interesting.
23,000 here at Western Sydney Stadium. 14 seconds left on the clock. We'll wrap up the earlier game at Dolphin Oval, where the Dolphins beat the Raiders 62-24. And we'll get through to our...
Mitch Moses is calling for him to kick it to him, and he'll just kick it dead. Look, he's kicking to me.
So Crossan kicks off. Down towards the Parramatta captain, Moses, in that northwestern corner of the ground. Lets the seconds tick down. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Kicks it dead. Harrogate 3 wins in a row. Newcastle have saved their worst for last. And the result is the wooden spoon. Not the fondest farewell for Adam O'Brien. 9 straight losses to end the year for the team from the Hunter. With the Eels here, buoyed by some key moments, some big moments, and some signs shown in this first year of Jason Riles. They went here at home in the end, 66-10, 12 tries to 2. Luke Lewis.
Yeah, unbelievable. Really good performance from Parramatta. Just goes to show you what they've got coming for next year. I like their attack. I really do. I like the way that they're setting up with those edges. Dylan Walker in the middle of the field, the way they shift over to those outside backs that take so many easy metres. And if Mitch Moses is on the field more often than not next year, they're going to be in for a good one. But, and on top of that, the Newcastle Knights today, they were really, really bad. They didn't turn up. They knew what was on the line, but they just didn't turn up. And they were looking forward to more going out for a mad Monday than they were turning up here and staying off the bottom of the competition.
Yeah, well, mad Monday for both teams tomorrow, but more positive signs for the Parramatta Eels in recent weeks with those 3 straight wins to close out the season. We get some reaction from downstairs, particularly with Gibbsy, then we'll launch into our preview of next week's finals. John Gibbs, let's go down to you.
Riley Smith's with me. Riley made his debut this year, and part of this resurgence at Parramatta, this is a fine way to finish the season, Riley.
Yeah, it's a real positive going into next season. It's been building for a few weeks now, and we've played some really good footy the last few weeks and beat some pretty good teams. So to get this one done tonight out of packed out Combank's awesome. It's unreal.
An exuberant try celebration. Your first try in your 22nd game in the NRL. That was pretty pleasing.
Yeah, it's pretty pleasing. The boys have been bagging me all year, so it was good to get across the line once. And all the boys got off the nudie today, Junior and Talon as well. So yeah, very happy.
Now, what do you think's been the difference? You've been here since the resurgence. Obviously, Mitchell Moses is so important. We saw what he could do, but generally speaking, the philosophy, all of those things, everything started to gel. What did you notice as you progressed through that first 22 games of your career?
Yeah, I think it's going to take time, mate. A brand new roster and a brand new coaching staff as well, and I think we just started to gel as the year went on, and we put in some really good performances. And obviously the signings of Dylan Walker and then obviously Talon as well during the middle of the year definitely boosted us as well. So we'll be taking that squad into next year and competing for a premiership.
And in a game, realistically, which really didn't mean much, obviously it means they could have missed a wooden spoon. Newcastle, new boys are going better, but a crowd in excess of 23,000, that's pretty heartening as well.
Yeah, I think we play for something every week, so this game definitely meant a lot for us for the sort of the momentum of next year. So to get a big win out of tonight in front of our fans, it's awesome.
Okay, Riley, last one. You're a young player making your way in the NRL. Who's going to win the comp, do you think? Who's your pick?
Oh, mate, I think Brisbane are sort of the dark horses, and I think, you got your Melbourne and your Penrith. They'll be up there as well. It'll be a cracking final series, and I'll be watching every game from my lounge.
Riley, enjoy the off-season, mate. It's been nice watching your development. Thanks for joining ABC Sport.
Perfect. Thank you, mate. Cheers.
Well done. Thanks, Gibbsy. Riley Smith there, and he was one of a few Eels to score his first try of the season. In his case, it was the first try of his career, along with Junior Barlaw, Talon De Silva, his first try for his new club as well. They had 12 tries to 2, which includes a first half hat-trick for Mitch Moses and a second half treble for Josh Addo-Carr. Dylan Brown scored in the first 90 seconds of the game. Riley Smith did score that try in the 20th minute, the first half. Matt Dury also on the board, and then Junior Barlaw in the second half, along with Talon De Silva and Will Bentony in his 100th NRL game scoring just before full time as well. From 34-4 at the halftime break. By the way, Newcastle did score through Jermaine McEwen in the 27th minute and Greg Marju in the 55th. So, yeah, 34-4 half-time, 66-10 full-time here. The Parramatta Eels have knocked off Newcastle very, very comfortably. Zach Lomax finished up 9 from 10. Dylan Brown 1 from 2, and and Gagai had 1 from 1. Cogger had none from 1. Fletcher Hunt, Jack Cogger both failed HIAs in the first half, category 1. So James Schiller, the 18th man, was activated in the game after half time. Luke Lewis, you showed utter disdain for giving points in the ABC Player of the Year, knowing James Tedesco had it wrapped up weeks and weeks ago. Who gets your final 6 points of the ABC Player of the Year?
Oh, well, 3 points is Mitch Moses every day of the week. He was phenomenal today. So he gets my 3. Junior Barlaw thought was brilliant. Laid the platform basically right through the middle of the field there for Parramatta. So he got my 2. And then I went Addo Carr for 1. Thought he was really good out wide. Scored a couple of great tries and stopped a couple of tries as well. So he gets my 1 point.
3 Moses, 2 Barlaw, did you say?
2 Barlaw, and then 1 for Addo Carr.
Josh Addo Carr. Okay, that's out finished up here. 66-10 for the Parramatta Eels, and the Newcastle Knights do farewell Adam O'Brien, the second longest serving coach in club history. 0467 920 222. Raider Pete in Forest Lodge says the maybe Raiders didn't go as well as I hoped, but they did better than the Knights. They did, yes. The Raiders lost 6-24 with that somewhat inexperienced side. Tiger Tully says, hi boys, it's good to know that Andrew is on the mend, but sad in a way we have come to the end of another season. You fellas have done a great job once again and look forward to the finals. Yeah, we're still here, Tiger Tully, for a fair while yet with you through all the usual hours we do. Fewer games, of course.